All right. Welcome back to Harbor Discussions. I keep the introductions very simple. I'm in here today with the founders of Alpha Hemp Solutions. They are, would you say, hemp-based company or just all CBD or
just derivatives of hemp for now while cannabis is still illegal.
Yeah, hemp product-based company out of Westminster, Maryland. Y'all were founded in 2022 right here in Westminster, right?
Sir.
All right. Was everybody in the company like born and raised here in Westminster?
Yeah.
Except me. I was born in Colorado. Lived there for 8 years.
That's right. You didn't forget about it.
I moved
Dude,
here.
I was born in Colorado too. That's so funny.
I'm from the Springs. Yeah, I was from the Springs. My dad was in the Air Force.
Nice.
He actually ended up starting up his own company himself with some of his Air Force buddies. They sold that. He got a job over here, and the rest is history. I met this guy at a young age when I first moved over here, and then I met this goon.
Yeah,
so.
we all live in the same neighborhood too. It's kind of crazy.
I got you, dude. That's sick. You know what's so funny? I was thinking about that question, and I was like, it'd be so funny if one of them was from Colorado, like out of all states. You know?
Yeah.
That's
100%.
so sick, man.
Awesome.
100%.
So I like to get everyone's like kind of perspective on growing up in Westminster. It's not a big perspective, but kind of just describe what you would say growing up in Westminster was like, and you can also, I guess, talk about Colorado a little bit too.
No, for sure.
Kick it off, Alex.
Yeah, my biggest difference. I mean, I love Colorado. Is you got the mountains over there. There's so much to do over there. But I found there's more in a way to do here, except it is a little different. Like you don't got the hiking as much and all that. But I found the people here I got a lot closer with than the people I did in Colorado. But that's just more of a personal thing. I felt like growing up here was kind of easier to get into than it was in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I feel like growing up here, everyone we grew up with is like, Westminster sucks. I hate Westminster. But then the older you get, it's like, really has everything.
100%.
Like, you got the beach. You can go down Towson City. It's 35, 40 minutes. Like,
You just got to know what to do.
everything is so close and access airports. Like, I lived in Idaho last year, and the closest international airport was 3 hours away.
Damn.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing here. Like when I was younger, I would always think like, dang, like it'd be so nice to grow up in like, I don't know, anywhere else. You just like, but as I've gotten older, I've really noticed how close we are to everything.
Yeah.
Like they were saying, beach 2 hours to the east, go up north 2 hours, and you can snowboard in the winter. Right near the airports, which is nice. You got everything you can need close by.
Like, as we've like gotten older, I've kind of find like sometimes the peace and quiet of Westminster. Like
Yes.
I've actually started to enjoy that more as I've gotten older. Beforehand it's been like, oh, you want to go do all this stuff, and which is not wrong. Like you said, we had the beach and all that, but like it's kind of nice now getting to an older age and you see kind of like the quietness and kind of the laid back of Westminster. And,
100%.
Not as chaotic.
Yeah, when all my relatives come down from Denver, because they all live in the city,
Right.
they all kind of have that reaction. Everyone always thinks the grass is greener on the other side. If you grow up in a small town, it's always very exciting when you go to a city.
100%.
So I was I think I was in Vegas is where I was. I was in the mall shopping, and I was talking to this guy who was checking me out, and pause.
Yeah.
He was checking me out for shoes. And and I was just talking about where I live, and he actually was like, "Nah, dude, you're actually kind of lucky because on the East Coast, like y'all said, you can kind of and you have access to a lot of states too. You can go to New York, New Jersey, Virginia,
DC.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
so he was saying that
people travel all from over the world to see DC.
Yeah, I think you just have to get a little bit older. Got to get out of high school so that you can actually go do more stuff.
Big time.
Because when you're in high school, that's all you can do is just hang around.
Another thing is sports. Like growing up 30 minutes from the city, it's really nice to be able to go catch a Ravens game or an Orioles game on like a very short notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got the metro, so like you don't need to deal with all the parking and stuff. Sometimes it's pretty nice.
There's a good concert scene too in Baltimore.
Well, we were just
there.
We were just at the power plant actually celebrating this guy's 21st.
Yes, sir.
We saw a Pink Floyd cover band. I forget the name of the band, but they were phenomenal.
It was awesome.
Was it
really
Several Species?
Several Species.
Dude, hell
Several
yeah!
Species,
I have a T-shirt of theirs upstairs.
They're crazy.
My dad's huge Pink Floyd fan.
They killed it, man. They all did. They did phenomenal.
Yeah. That was the second time I saw them. It's better each time.
Yeah, I saw him once, and it is pretty crazy. I saw this one dude. He absolutely tripping. off something. He
Dude.
was much older too,
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
even funnier.
The visuals there were so
Well,
crazy.
they
Yeah,
had
hell
they had
yeah.
that video screen behind the band
Oh,
playing,
man.
and they've got like all the trippy like.
Oh, it's so
visuals and
crazy.
Stuff, and it was a ride, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes cover bands can be. A lot of people think they're corny, but they're one of the ones that really,
I enjoyed it.
I got no corny feeling. Like for me, you felt how much this band loved the Pink Floyd, you know,
Oh, yeah.
the songs and everything, and so you felt their passion for it. And this is the first time when Amy, another person that works with us, I was talking with her there, and I was like, this was one of the first concerts where I like genuinely like sat there and was like, dude, I'm feeling the music. Like I actually feel the music, and it was awesome. It's
Hell
a great
yeah.
experience.
Yeah, speaking of concerts in Baltimore, I figured I'd talk about this. I just tried buying tickets to a Turnstile at the Auto Bar, and yeah, that shit sold out in like literally like less than a minute.
That's so
apparently.
funny.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
straight away.
Shit was like a Supreme drop. It was crazy. So kind of talk more in depth about how y'all officially met and everything like that, and became friends and whatnot.
All right. Well, I met Shane when he moved here. What grade was that? Third, fifth?
I don't know.
It was either third or fifth. I know it was one of those two. But we got tight real quick because of Minecraft. Believe it
Okay.
or not, like as soon as we met each other, Minecraft came up, and then like the next day,
yeah.
I was at his crib playing Minecraft, and then here we are. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. We actually still, pretty much all of us that work together, when the working day's over, 8 or 9 o'clock,
Oh yeah.
we're all on video games together.
Yep.
Every
Oh
single night.
yeah, I mean it's definitely a bond for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
For sure. Gaming's been big for me for my whole life. I've always loved it.
I mean, it's been a big social aspect for us too. I
Yeah.
feel like, you know, we get kind of our fun and enjoyment out of that at the end of the day. You know.
It's good when you can be social with video games because like it's definitely an escape from reality. So
Yes.
like
Yes.
sometimes if you're just consuming it by yourself, it can
Yeah.
be like a
Oh, yeah,
little
no.
unhealthy.
100%.
Very unhealthy.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
like
say.
the example. I don't know about you. I just got heavy into the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Okay.
And I've now played that game through 3 times, and it just came out
Man.
like, this past April.
That's
I've
crazy.
completed every challenge, and then the other day, like I finished on the hardest difficulty, and I'm sitting, I'm like, bro, I really just went through and played this game.
That was me
3
with
full
Modern
times,
Warfare,
man.
dude. I've played the campaign on every difficulty,
Yeah,
and
like, I
tried
couldn't-
to beat the campaign without dying, and I, did
couldn't
it.
put it
Took
down.
me so
I could
long.
not leave my room, dude. Like I was hooked.
It's kind of crazy though, because like games like Red Dead Redemption 2, stuff like that, there's so much detail that they put into the game that like people are
Amazing
still
video game.
finding stuff out every day,
It's so crazy.
and that's kind of why people get so sucked in and whatnot.
Literally, it's like pretty soon you're gonna be able to, like,
Virtual reality is going to take
Experience-
over the whole thing. I'm
right,
telling you.
like,
There-
yeah.
and it's not even going to be goggles at that point. Eventually, it's going to turn into this
You're gonna
thing
be
where
in
you can
that shit.
step into a room, press some buttons, and the whole walls and everything changes to your environment, and then you're there. Like that's what it's going to eventually be.
and
You know.
you also have to realize that's really dangerous too, because there's gonna be people who like that more than the
They
real
don't
world.
Oh, yeah.
dude, it's going to cause so many different issues and stuff.
Mental issues for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm also curious because like we're kind of getting in a very hypersensitive society
Oh, yeah.
here in the,
No
in the
doubt.
United States. So like when it comes to video games like Grand Theft Auto, where like you can literally just murder people and beat people, like how are people gonna take that?
Did
You know what I mean?
Getting desensitized to death. Getting desensitized to that stuff. I feel like is
There's
I mean,
always been
There's different ways you can look at it, 100%, but there's definitely pros and cons to that stuff, and it's gonna get probably leaning more toward the con side as it gets more synced with virtual.
If they ever
Yeah.
release it.
if the
For
next
real.
GTA ever comes
Yeah.
out, that's the big.
So
thing.
like the idea of the Purge movies, for example, a lot of people are like thinking this could be a thing or
Mhm.
talking about if it could be a thing. Perhaps if there was like a simulated Purge, that could be
That would be actually.
semi-healthy.
I mean, virtual reality purge. dude,
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah, they just
crazy.
go in
Like
there,
that's the kind of
get
video
out-
game
get
I'm
out
trying
all
to
your-
play.
get out
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's the video game you'll see me playing.
Yeah.
Basically Warzone.
basically.
Literally.
just turning
Have
into
y'all
that.
ever tried virtual reality before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot. So when I was in the army, a good buddy of mine, Bulwer, he was huge into that stuff, like the VR and all that.
Okay.
And so a lot of the time, like on our lunch break or whatever, we'd go back there and we would fuck around with the VR. And at this particular moment, he had this horror game, and it was like a demo, and it involved you being in this church and you're a detective. And at the very end, like, you see the demon finally at the end of the church, and it like charges at you, and then the screen goes black and the demo's over. But I literally like almost shit my pants. Like there's a video of me, and I'm literally like the power of Christ compels you, and then you just see me flip out, and like the
Oh my
handles go
God.
flying, and dude, I think VR is great. I
Yeah,
think
I've
it's a
actually
great
never tried
experience,
it. I need to try it
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah, it's super cool. bought my little brother a couple months ago the Oculus
Okay, yeah.
Rift 2.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
the Oculus. Yep.
And you can like go into Netflix in it, and it's like this giant like log cabin. The TV quality, like it's like 100-some inch TV, but the actual screen quality isn't that good.
Yeah.
But the room quality of like the details in the room, you believe you're there.
Yeah.
And I went and sat on the couch. It wasn't there.
There wasn't no couch.
Like I mean, it was like that, like real. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Yeah, you see people like boxing and stuff like that, playing those boxing
Yeah.
games, and they just end up like squaring up with the
The
wall.
VR football, they like take off in the pocket and slam into the door.
I get it. It's like
Or have you seen the ones when they're like balancing on a beam or they're like
Yes.
on the heights and then they like
That would
and
trip
they
me
actually
out,
like
too.
feel like they're falling over.
Imagine like doing that in VR, but actually being on like something that resembles like a cliff almost, but like it's like,
There's
it's like a
small
2-inch
step
drop.
out,
Yeah,
yeah. Dude,
So
you
you
would have
shit your
that. You would
pants.
have that feeling
Yes.
of just in fear, like you're like I'm falling and I'm gonna die.
I saw this thing where it was like I don't know what to call it. It was some kind of contraption that you actually could to like stand in and whatnot, and you are secured, so like you can't fall or like run into anything. So like literally, this dude was like full on.
Yeah.
Oh,
sprinting
I'm
and
talking
stuff.
like,
It's like
you
a
can, do
treadmill.
circle around and
Yeah.
yes, and it's
It's like a little mat that moves under
it's-
you.
Yeah, bro. Like I remember that was a big part. They released that for one of the Halo things, and I remember that was their big thing. And you saw the guy, and he's like running on the treadmill thing or whatever, and then it goes
Oh,
into
yeah,
the
they
Halo
did.
game, and it's like him, and he's making all the movements. It was really.
I've thought about
really
this a lot actually. So if you think about like your stereotypical gamer, you know, it's like some overweight, unhealthy kid.
Yeah.
But like if you think about it like that in the VR stuff, if you can make it so like you put on a bodysuit and you're in the game, you can't be fat. You know what I mean? You're not gonna compete.
Yeah.
So that could be a good way to look
That's
at it
very
too.
true.
If you like
I never thought about
do
that.
VR like that, I mean, people just got to be healthy to
And if
compete.
you gotta
You're
like, and if
incorporating-
you're
yeah.
actually being active
That's
too.
that's what I was gonna say.
100%.
You incorporate the running or like whatever the machine or whatever it was called and the way they did it, like that's enabling you to actually be moving around instead of just sitting in a chair or your bed for
Pro gaming's
hours
gonna
on
look
end.
a lot different.
bro. It'll be like legitimate like dude. Pro gaming then will be like
VR
huge.
could actually be used for all sorts of good applications, like police and shit could use
Yeah,
it for
yeah.
training and whatnot. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
they actually,
100%.
I
A
think
lot of
some
military.
people, I think some
military
people,
does. I mean, I
Isn't-
never did
yeah.
like
They do the simulated.
well we did.
shoot houses
I
and
never did like a VR simulation, so I never had like actual goggles on my head during my like time in the army. But there's a lot of just programs that they do use stuff like that for. I mean, we did a lot just like computer based. Like they have a whole simulation based off Armor 3 that the
Oh, shit,
army
that's
actually
crazy.
uses, and it's a whole training
Damn.
aspect off the actual game Armor 3.
I would love
Um,
to see gameplay from that, dude.
It's nothing crazy, like for us, I was in a mounted infantry unit, so we were in Humvees. We weren't line guys rucking around everywhere. Thank God.
Yeah.
And our training simulation, it was just simple as you're either the truck commander, the driver, or you're the gunner. And then so you look on your screen and there's the Armor 3 characters and the little Humvee,
damn.
and you just
I mean,
do your roles.
It
through
is good
that.
training.
It's
it
great
really
training,
is.
but that VR stuff, dude, like I'm thinking about that. You implement that in a way where your soldiers are able to maneuver around in like a somewhat of an open area. They've got like visual aspects of war, gunfire, all that stuff. Like, dude, that's like a motivator right there. That's gonna get people really wanting to go. Rather than just sitting behind a little computer screen playing a little Armor 3 demo. But
Or
I think
some
that's a
people are
great
gonna
aspect.
realize like, oh, I'm definitely not going.
yeah, there's that. You have people that'd be like, no, thank you.
Wake
like,
up
I am
call for sure.
A-okay, Yeah.
Like you said, VR is indistinguishable sometimes. So
It's-
like,
dude,
yeah.
when it's
It'll
right
give
there
you
in
a
your
good sense.
face, you know it. Like when it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
around you, like
if you're not built for it, you'll know.
and see go like I'm just, like you guys said, look at some of these clips of people like reacting to like stuff in VR that's like not actually there, like
Yeah.
running into their TVs, or like thinking they're falling off. Like it actually
It's that heat of the moment. man.
manipulates your mind in a way. It's pretty.
Yeah, and I'm sure
interesting.
the longer you stay in there too. Like imagine like you put the goggles on as soon as you wake up and you just in there all day. You definitely would forget at some point.
I mean, dude, that's
Bro,
happened to me with video. Like, you'll
Oh,
just
yeah.
take off the headset and like back up from in your chair, and you'll be like, "Holy shit, I'm like in this room."
can you
I
just
know, I mean-
imagine some like
nothing today.
just imagine some like absolute like I don't know. It would be funny if like a billionaire put on like VR goggles and just like worked a full shift in a warehouse or
Right.
something.
Cooking.
Like, yeah, just
Like
imagine
cooking
like
burgers.
someone
Easy.
working a full shift in VR and then
You don't
just
even
like
know the
hopping
kinda day
off.
Oh, that's actually another thing. Like with the automated trucks, like the autonomous driving trucks, like they're not nearly to the point where they need to be. So they're developing systems where like drivers can patch in
Right.
and like
That's wild.
virtual reality drive the truck, get it on course, and like make sure it's driving autonomously good. But if it's gonna like hit a family, you gotta turn that shit virtual reality. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but what happens in like? Okay, so you're saying they'd always be watching though, like they'd always.
I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that they have like you can patch into these trucks and control them.
Yeah.
They're not like the Tesla trucks and stuff like
Mhm.
that. You know what I mean?
They probably have, like,
autonomous
a
trucks.
Camera. It's like right where the driver's
I
head
have
would
no
be.
idea how it
Send
works.
you
to be
VR
honest.
you're in.
I'm just thinking of like if there was to be a crazy bad accident and they're all automated and they just don't want to stop, you know, and there's no one like right then and there to stop like all the trucks, and then you just got to keep. There's just a constant hammer of truck into truck, and you got a pile up right there. You got a
It's
big
scary
pile up.
stuff for sure. That autonomous driving.
Yeah, or
Yes.
like like the Fast and Furious clip where like they hacked into all the cars that had like electric shit in
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and then they
yeah.
drove all of it off a building.
You know they're making another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even like continue to watch this
Yeah,
franchise.
no, I don't,
This one's
kinda-
got what Jason Momoa in it, and
Oh my
it
God.
goes back to the 5th one when they robbed the bank in Brazil, and
Oh my
he's the
God.
son of the guy they killed. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna lie, right? Like the Fast and Furious movies, I'm gonna just straight up say it, they're entertaining as fuck. I'm gonna just say
Of
it, they are.
course.
They are entertaining, but it gets to a point now where you're like, dude, how do you come up with another thing to like what is it now? Who's
Right.
Didn't they go to
coming back?
space?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they went to
I
space
heard
in
that,
the
I was
last
like,
one. Ludacris and
Yeah, I stopped watching
I forgot
that.
the other actor's name. They went to.
Was it Tyrese?
Yeah, Tyrese. They went
Yeah.
to space. I never thought I'd see that.
I
in
will
a Fast
continue
and
to
Furious
say this.
movie.
Once The Rock entered the franchise, things just kind of went downhill
Oh, bro,
as
well,
far
you-
as.
it's funny because I remember there was like actually like a lot in depth that was going on between like The Rock and Jason Statham when they came in, and then like the rest of the Fast family, and then
Well, The Rock and Vin Diesel don't talk to each other, I don't think.
no, they are
They
not.
can't even
on-
be in the
they're,
same
They're
room.
not on good terms.
So any
at
scenes
all.
shot together, they're
Oh, I did hear that.
Yeah, like a lot of
It's
their
not real.
scenes, they're not actually.
Oh,
in the
right,
scene.
because
Yeah.
like they're too alpha to like be
Yeah.
around each other because
Well,
one
well,
will make
no,
the other look
well,
weak
what
or
it,
something.
what it started as was the whole thing that, and I love The Rock, okay, I do, but if you guys really look at him, during that time he came into like every kind of like big franchise that you could think of, and he was trying to kind of like be the person, you know, like,
Right.
and so Vin Diesel, he came out and clearly stated that, and he was like, he's wanted to change all this stuff in the Fast family and all these things, and he wants to be the top dog, you know, and it's just like, I mean,
Family.
there's it's family. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's all. You know. And then there was that whole thing with The Rock in DC. You know, he was trying to take over the DC universe as Black
My
Adam, and then
lord.
that just went and plummeted the box office.
Man,
But-
Yeah,
they
there's
need
a-
to chill out before they start keep going down that path with the
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube. It's like a documentary about The Rock. It's this guy Patrick Cece, I think.
Okay, yeah,
He makes a bunch of like videos about just people's background and stuff like that. But it's super interesting, and it goes into like what we were just talking about,
Yeah.
like him and the Vin Diesel thing. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
they both
beef.
don't want to get their ass beat in a movie.
Yeah, they can't look weak on camera.
That's
It's
crazy.
absurd.
I would do like honestly like to
But
be in an acting role like yo you can shoot me, you can beat my ass,
Yeah.
like
That's
do
what I'm saying.
whatever.
I mean, I feel like there's movies where like Dwayne the Rock Johnson like looks weak. You know what I mean? Like, is that not a thing?
I don't.
Oh, there definitely is.
You know
But
what I
like,
mean?
I just find it funny that at the end of the day, it's acting. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, hey, we're actually these top dog machos. It's like, no, you're not. You're an actor, and you're.
At the end of the day, like you fight back at least, you all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I would just be like, yo, at least make me lose fair
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
like
saying.
as
It's also
honest.
just more publicity.
Yes, it
the
is
end of
just
the
more
day.
publicity at the end of the day, and more money's rolling in. So.
Yeah, I do kind of get that though, because like you got like probably Vin Diesel was like Dom Toretto was Fast and Furious more than
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what I
Um,
think of when I think of Fast and Furious.
So I guess The Rock coming in, he was definitely like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
What are
then
you doing?
they literally went and made Hobbs and Shaw like right after that, like not too long, and then everyone was like, "So is The Rock like, you know, I don't know, it just gets into
Yeah,
a
it gets
bunch of
very
stuff.
corny.
Yeah.
So back into the company and whatnot. What were the discussions like that led to the idea of the company?
I'll let Shane handle that.
Ooh,
He-
man, put me on the spot.
Shame.
I don't know. I moved to Idaho. I was sous chef out there. Well, I was already in school online to get a business degree,
Okay.
and I had a minor in cybersecurity. And I was just like, what am I doing? Like, not what I want to do the rest of my life. Cooking, and I'm not learning anything in school other than how to work for someone else.
Right.
So I moved back home, and I've always been working full-time since I was young. So I took the whole summer off and just kind of had some fun. And then Nate called me one day, and he was like, so tired of being broke like this. I was like, yeah, sucks. And then 3 days later, I called him. I'm like, me too. So then we just kind of got brainstorming. We had this list of just ideas how to make some more money and how get some time back. And it just kind of spawned from there. We saw, the CBD industry, the hemp and shell of it is expected to grow exponentially. So we're like, all right, what can we do?
Absolutely.
And then somewhere along the lines, we were looking into making lotion. Started reading all the different label ingredients on the bottles. And we're like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is real? Like they put this stuff in here? And that's when we decided to go with a whole natural approach to everything. So start with our base hemp seed lotion. Only have 5 ingredients. And it's all natural.
And I don't know if you can tell, like, see this redness right here?
Yeah.
And over here. I got it here and here and on the back of my knees, and it's eczema, and when it breaks out, it'll be really bad. And that was another big motivator for us to start making lotion, because you take the benefits of CBD, which would already help that, and you infuse it in a moisturizing lotion.
Gotcha.
Like, it's pretty much worked out very well. Like, this lotion almost cured my eczema, and it's kind of funny because we took a trip to Mexico for spring break.
Nice.
Didn't pack my lotion. My skin, like, it was like it needs hemp seed lotion to like survive now. Like, it literally, it was so bad, and it took.
I think I have a picture of it.
Yeah, it was torn up
long.
for sure, and we just, that was one of the biggest things for me. Like, we started the company really looking into the cannabinoids and like smokables, edibles, that kind of stuff. But we started to switch towards skincare when we saw what was on the market nowadays, and it's all trash.
Yeah.
So many synthetic ingredients and additives,
And just the misinformation that goes around about CBD.
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like, it's
that's
crazy.
also a huge market on its own is skincare.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and
that's,
show him that.
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty wild.
And like
damn.
the CBD is massive. Like it's got the anti-inflammatory properties that'll immediately calm it down. It's like
Okay.
it's almost like your skin gets like puffy. It like poofs up. So the anti-inflammatory properties of CBD and the lotion are just massive for.
Does it like irritate and stuff?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it'll get so itchy that you just can't help but itch it, and
like
then
bug bites and whatnot.
and you'll get blisters, and it'll start to
Scab over.
fester and all that good stuff. It's crazy.
I get horrible reaction to it, like any mosquito bite. It's
Mhm.
crazy. So I hate
Yeah,
that.
like
That
the
shit's
CBD
good.
lotion would really help out with that because it
Oh,
would just
shit.
calm it down. I actually brought some
Nice.
for you to keep.
Oh, dude.
Slide it right now.
Oh,
Got some goodie
Yeah,
bags.
we brought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we brought some.
This is the CBD lotion right here.
hell
It's a
yeah.
little 2 ounce of the lavender.
Yes, like Dave was saying with anti-inflammatory properties, we use elderberry as a natural preservative.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that also has
Hell yeah.
properties like that. Same thing with the oils, because it's not just the CBD that does that stuff. It's everything's in there for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
No one else does. Well, they do. It's just theirs is specifically in there to cut costs and those kind of things.
Yeah, so I did definitely want to talk about that because I saw the post where you were talking about that. Because a lot of people say that when it comes to eating healthy, a lot of people want to eat healthier, eat organic. But you go to the grocery store, you go down to the organic aisle, you're like, yo, these prices are out of control.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, does that cut into your costs at all? Or is that...
Big time.
Okay.
So I can fill you in on this. So elderberry, which is one of the only natural preservatives keeping bacteria from growing in your,
Okay.
because there's water in there, you know what I mean? So you
Right,
got to keep
right.
it fresh. And elderberry is one of the only natural preservatives, and for that reason, it's by far the most expensive ingredient.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
That
the-
alone costs more than everything else in our lotion.
There's by like volume, sorry, by like weight and volume of everything that's inside the bottle. The elderberry accounts for 5%.
Okay.
That's really the maximum you can use for it to be an effective preservative. That 5% in there costs more than everything else added up, bottle included.
Damn.
Yeah.
I got
So we really take the natural thing seriously. Like, you can't find all natural skincare products because all these companies are using cheap preservatives just
Well, and
made in a
that's-
factory or a lab.
Whenever we're at the markets or we're at anything talking to a store owner, that's a big part we hit is
Right.
the elderberry preservative, and a lot of people actually notice that, and they're actually like, oh yeah, I know about that elderberry. Not a lot of people are doing that, and that really draws them in because they're like,
Okay.
okay, these guys are genuine about their all natural and the way that they're doing it.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So just kind of a general question, because I guess it would relate into some of the other stuff. Are any of you like active, like regular THC users at all, or do you just use
Yes.
non-psychoactive stuff?
Me and Alex like to smoke, yeah.
Yeah, I'm especially after my
Shane dabbles.
especially after, I was 3 years infantry, man. I got out and I was like,
Happy.
I'm a smoke. So I'm gonna be honest, I smoke a good bit.
Yeah.
I'm smoking every day.
Nothing wrong
so,
with that.
I did my due diligence and now I'm having some fun. So.
It makes sense, so like I was definitely gonna ask, did that have a role in starting the company?
Big
as
bunch of
well?
gummies too.
Yeah,
Hell
we
yeah.
did. We did appreciate it.
Right here, baby.
Oh hell, thank you guys.
Yeah, man. We actually got more stuff for you, but I don't want to.
And those are the D9, same thing you get from dispensary, just through us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, when me and Shane were brainstorming ideas for like kind of just how to, not even where to start with the business, just how to not be broke. And we were like looking at like hemp derived distillates and stuff because like you can make pretty high quality carts and flip them for good profit.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of where we started with all this,
Yeah.
and it just
Okay.
led to a bunch of research, and we found the labels on these bottles of lotion. We're like, holy shit, like this is literal trash. Why are we putting this on our skin?
Guaranteed.
And then 2 or 3 weeks later, we're filing for licenses and all that.
Yeah,
So
dropped out of school.
How
quit
easy
my
was
job.
that process, filing for all the licenses and stuff?
it's not as hard as I thought, but it definitely is a pain because, everything's electronic now, which is a little bit easier, but so many random fees, so many,
Yeah.
processing fee, filing fee, a lot of paperwork. It's just, but I wouldn't say that to discourage people because it is so much less expensive than I thought. I would say it costs less than $1,000 to get everything
Yeah.
in
Okay.
place.
And what kind of license is it exactly?
I mean, you need your sales and use tax for every state you sell in.
Okay.
You need your
Trader's license.
trader's license, your federal EIN number. I'm definitely missing some more.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's like a handful of things.
It's not hard to get the license. That part's super easy. It's just really knowing where to look.
Yeah.
So if we were to do this all over again, it would take seconds because it's just like, oh, click here,
Know where you got
purchase, done.
And another big thing for us, like me and Shane, so inexperienced in this field, we actually had a mentor help us a lot. Just kind of, not necessarily like tell us what to do, just kind of motivate us and be like, yes, what you guys are telling me will work if you create a plan to make it happen. And like, yes, you guys are on the right track. I'm proud of you guys. Like, and just anytime we have a problem, like someone threatened to like, oh, not threaten us, but like someone hit us up once and like concerned about us starting to sell at a new event. And like he immediately was like, do not even worry about it. That means you guys are on the right track. If people are worried about you, that means you're doing things right. So like,
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that really helped us to like be confident and
People
keep
just hating
pushing.
the expansion? Is that what that is?
I mean, you'd be surprised,
Yeah,
man. A
that's
lot of
crazy.
people are
I
gonna
was gonna
give
say.
you hate when you start to do your own thing.
Even
Yeah.
even sometimes people that you're close to. You got a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into details. I don't believe in that. But I've had plenty of people been like
A lot of people doubt
a
us.
lot of people doubting
Everyone.
us, man. Like on a constant basis. And
Yeah, fake love and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
But hey,
yeah.
I love it, man. It's motivation. It really is.
well, it keeps us going. I feel like
When we started, I stopped all social media accounts, Snapchat, Instagram, everything. Just got rid of it.
Yeah.
There's
Good
no-
time.
What does it do? It
I will
just-
say I'm happy I did that as well. I do still have Snapchat, and the only reason I really do have Snapchat is to stay in contact with my military homies. That's
Yeah. Sure.
literally it. But dude, Instagram, I'm so happy I got off that stuff.
It's like, I don't really care what you're doing. You don't care about what I'm doing.
But not even that. But I just feel like social media today is just so it's so manipulative, and
Mhm.
you can't go
Yeah,
on there
it's
and see.
completely
There's
fake.
no realistic shit
Nothing's
at all
real.
anymore. You
Back
know?
in the day, I feel like, back in the day, you went on Instagram or Facebook, mostly Facebook back in the day, and like whatever you follow, whoever you
Yes.
followed, whoever you liked, that is what you saw.
Yes. Yep.
Now they're throwing all sorts of different shit at you.
We got the whole crazy algorithm stuff, and it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
if it's a certain thing, then that thing will come into your feed, and I don't understand.
I'm not gonna
it,
lie.
but
Peak of COVID, man. Like I'm super thankful we had video games like we did, bro, because it would be like,
Dude.
that's the only way to be social, really.
Yeah.
So like, but like, there's also the other side of it where like you have a lot of downtime scrolling on TikTok. That fried my brain.
Yeah.
My attention span is still shot, and like I was so deep into the, COVID was made in a lab, all that crap. It literally drove me crazy. I literally had
Yeah.
to delete that shit. Like,
I got into conspircy theories as well during the COVID times.
oof,
Oh,
big
we
time
got-
to get
we
into
spent-
conspiracies. We were deep.
The other night, Nate and I went over, it was probably 9
Yeah,
o'clock
Justin's
we left.
house.
Went over to Justin Moser's house.
Okay, nice.
And we get there, I was like, back in the car, I'm like, oh, it's like Alex's Jeep. Nate's like, oh, no, I don't think so. We go inside, and Alex sitting at the table with Justin.
what's up, guys? What are you doing here?
We ended up sitting outside for like, what, 2 hours?
We
talking
were, it
about
was not, and it wasn't meant
conspiracy
to be. It was supposed to be like a quick smoke session, bounce. It
Right.
did not. It was not.
We
that.
got deep.
theories.
Yeah, no. What were we? We were talking about some crazy stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, we were
Literally.
Yeah.
everything you could imagine, man. We were hitting every point, and Justin was a big part of that. Justin, I'm gonna tell you, that guy is great at like conversation starting. Like we would finish a topic, and then he'd hit us with something else. He'd be like, "So, what do you guys think about this?"
Yeah.
And then we'd sit there and be like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh
Go
my
for like 20 more
gosh."
minutes.
Yeah, and then
I,
you just keep
I could
going.
be wrong, but I think that was my longest podcast was with those dudes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I have to keep looking over because it cut off like about halfway.
Yeah, he called me
Oh,
afterwards.
dude,
He was
that
like, dude, it was like
sucks.
4 hours long. This was sick.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
like,
I'm saying.
How much
so,
content did you guys miss?
so I think we got about 2.5 hours out. So it was like 2 hours missing, I think.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah, I have the original files, so I
Mhm.
may or may not be able to do
Right,
something
dude,
with
yeah.
it. But
They're great guys. Justin's a great guy.
so
Well, actually,
how'd you get in contact with them? That was one of my.
his
CFM, baby.
the first farmers market we were at, Good Time Health was there,
Nice.
and his intern Jacob Fisher, we went to school
Yeah, he's
with
one of our
like
boys.
he was in the same friend group.
Okay.
And it was actually, it was one of the guys our first day there. I had the flu, so I wasn't there. It was just Nate there, and they went over and took some of our lotion. Just went over, took it, put it on the table, and we're just sending people our way. Like, hey, check this out. Try it. Go down here.
Hell yeah.
And it was like, that was a nice thing that was ever done for me. And then we're so lucky, like, we built that relationship because, like, doing all this stuff, sometimes it gets super stressful and you don't know what to do in certain situations or you just burn out and not thinking right. Like, Justin's in the same boat with us. So
Right.
we call him, hey, what do you think about this? What are you guys doing? Do you have any ideas for this? Or same thing, him to us sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
vice versa.
hey, I got in this farmer's market. You want to hit it together, try it out, and see how it goes? Yep, let me know when. And it's like, this is sweet, you know?
And it is nice to see another entrepreneur who's so happy and always in a good mood.
Yeah,
you know?
Hell
That's
yeah.
huge, you know?
Well,
It's huge.
I was just about to say, going off that, like, our mindsets are all kind of in the same spot. And I think that's another good reason why we all
Yes.
click together so well. Is we're both a group of guys, you know, that are motivated to make something of ourselves and do something, you know, other than working for the machine and all that. And we all click, man. Like we all get together and we have a great time. And then
Yeah, it's super cool.
it is cool. It is really cool.
Yeah, and it's also nice to like be around people, not just be close with people, but just like be around people that have that mindset because it
Justin's
can be
a-
inspiring.
100%.
when-
It's such an
It's
important
essential
part of it.
almost,
I
I
have,
think.
out of every time I've met Justin, I've yet to see him in a down, negative mood. Like that guy's
No,
always
he's
smiling.
always in a
that
good mood.
guy's always positive. Even with the rest of their team, like
Mhm.
Ethan, you know, Alex. Like, and we're the same way. I feel
Yeah,
like you know we have
absolutely.
our days where we're like, man, you know, I'm not feeling it today, but like I have yet to see Justin, man. He's
always on it.
Yeah.
Always on it, man.
There's no excuses or anything from anybody. It's just like, all right, let's go do this.
Mhm.
What do we do next? How do we fix this? It's like, gotta have it or never gonna be anything.
So you brought up like working for the machine, quote unquote,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I like talking about that. I had a note. So like, what other jobs have y'all worked and whatnot? And is this full time for everybody now?
So
It's
Shane is full time
yeah.
with it. Me and Alex are still in school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work part time, and yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. I'm wrapping up school. I'm doing cybersecurity.
Okay.
The only reason I'm still in school is because I've been in college for 3 years now, and I have to stop now. Like when
I
I'm
feel
literally
that.
4 classes from having my degree, it's just like
Yeah.
It's
why would I
understandable.
stop?
And we have four other people as well. One's full time, the other two are part time.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, so I'm done with school next week, and then after that we will be full time.
Yeah, well, the summer we're green light.
Time it's HQ, which is at Shane's. We're there day in and day out. So
Gotcha. What kind of jobs have you worked in the past that kind of made you like?
well, I'll tell you one thing that I learned big time is I don't want to do labor work. You know, I learned that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know, I'll just say it wasn't exactly 4 years, but close to it. You know, doing that in the infantry, man, you're constantly, you know, I learned very quick that I am A-okay not having to do labor work. And that was a big part when Shane came to me about this that I was so interested in, is because I also learned I'm not really big at just taking answers from someone just because they've got a little bit higher title than me.
100%.
Guaranteed.
And that person could be, I'm just going to straight up say it, some of those sergeants and some of those other people I met, they could be inferior to me. They were not as smart as I were, but just because they had that extra chevron, they
Yeah.
were able to judge my whole life. And I know that's not as an extent in the civilian world, but it's still kind of that thing, right? You know, you got to do whatever the big boss says, whatever that.
Right.
And so when Shane came to me for that, man, he was like, yo, me and Nathan were cooking up this deal. We really want you to be a part of it. I was like, put my fucking name down. Like, and I'm so down.
You
But
see that pecking order almost in every employment field, as far as like blue collar, even white collar people too. You know, everyone deals with that because, you know, you watch people who are normally cool, but once they start to get bitched at by their managers and stuff like that, then they have to do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a
crazy.
bad
that's
chain.
a big thing in the Army, man. That's
Yep.
a big, it's chain of command.
Yeah.
Big platoon sergeant gets pissed off at staff sergeant. Who do you think staff sergeant's then going to go to? Guy right below him.
Yeah.
That eventually leads to me, you know, little squad leader, specialist Hewson, you know, that's got a few privates underneath him. Hewson, why did none of this get done? And then I got to go to these dorks and be like, I gave you guys tasks, why aren't, you know, and it's just kind of that, so, but,
Yeah, well, to go into back to the job thing, me and Shane actually worked together at CLB. That was one of my first jobs. Other than that, I worked at Firehouse Subs, just
Okay.
cooking up subs. But yeah, it's actually kind of funny. We used to work for Amy, who we were talking about earlier. She was, what was her job? She was like executive chef, right?
She was cook supervisor too there, which is pretty much the same thing. But she was an executive chef at all kinds of country clubs and resorts and fancy restaurants across the country her whole life. And yeah, we started washing dishes
Yeah.
for her,
Okay.
and then just
And she's always had a big love for cannabis and hemp and all
Oh,
its
yeah.
benefits.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
always been big on skincare
she's
infused
making
with the cannabinoids, you know?
lotions
So,
for years, always saying CBD. It's, I'm telling you, try it. And everyone just kind of like blew her off because 7 years ago, like
Yeah.
that wasn't really a thing.
Right.
And she was so insistent on, here we are, or that's
she's
how
very-
it works.
she's
everything
very
she said
intelligent
was
and
Yeah.
like that,
true.
and that
It's crazy.
understanding. Like
Yeah.
she has, she'll say stuff that I had no idea for like the longest time. Like, and you know, me being a guy like prior to the Army, I've always loved, you know, smoking weed, and afterwards, like being a, there's stuff that I still hadn't even known about that she was telling us. And like,
yeah.
do you know how like the fact that if you do this and that, and, like it provides this for your body, and you're sitting there and you're like, wait, like how does she what?
Yeah.
And then you look it up and it's true, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like-
And that's another part of how we're able to be so successful is, I mean, like, it took a while to perfect the lotions, but,
Right.
I mean, from day one, we were making super high quality stuff just because Amy had that experience, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, we would not be here
Yeah.
right now if it wasn't for Amy.
No,
There's no doubt.
Amy's a G.
Yeah, she does anything
many-
and everything.
What was the process of finding the perfect lotion like? Did you have to go through a lot of trial and error?
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, dude. We had actually, like, it kind of sucked up. So we like to scent our lotions, like the lavender scent.
Right.
We get like a natural essential oil, but there's some essential oils that like are not good for people with sensitive skin, and we learned that the hard way. You know what I mean? Like a tea tree
Yeah.
infused oil with a lotion, it really doesn't work well because at least for me and one other girl I know, it causes you to get like hives.
Yeah.
Oof.
So like, you know, what I mean, imagine if we went to the market
Right.
with that. You know what I mean? Like you have to,
Yeah, we try
you have to.
Everything
You have to.
ourselves. Anything we carry.
Yeah.
Everyone tries it.
So it
So
has
the
to be
pet
like
stuff.
100%. You know.
Yeah, we don't rock with it if it's not all natural.
And we
'cause
do
that's our,
like
that's our goal.
microbacteria tests on all of it too.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's the smart, you know, we're doing it like the smart way, you know. We
Mhm.
we don't want to be, we don't want to get anyone, you know, sick, and let alone we want to sell what we're preaching, a good all natural based product that's going to help you. So
Yeah,
and that's-
nowadays, you know, you get the wrong headline. You know, woman
Oh, yeah.
gets hives at local market. You know that
Yeah.
could
Not
be the
good.
end. You
And
know?
I
that
mean,
would be the
there's-
end of it, you know. Especially had any sort of tie that it was to us people. That's it, done
And
for, you know.
There's already stuff out there in the hemp industry that's sketchy. Like in Montgomery County, 2 people overdosed of fentanyl from buying gummies from a smoke shop. I mean, like that shit is scary.
Was
I-
that this tobacco hut place
Yeah.
that I had? Was that the
Mhm.
Damn.
yeah? That
People
was
just
at this-
bought like Delta 8 gummies and OD'd on fent.
Damn.
Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I have a note on here. So, like, I follow this page on Instagram. It's called the Blacklist XYZ, I believe. And it's basically like a news page for the weed industry.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like an underground page.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, basically, they have a lot of articles and stuff about, like, synthetic marijuana and how it's causing all sorts of issues right now. They actually want to lower, like, potency laws, apparently, because of incidences of synthetic marijuana.
Mhm.
And it's kind of giving weed a bad rap
100%,
because you know, because that's the thing, people don't understand synthetic weed is not weed.
No.
Right.
It's like the furthest thing from it.
I don't think people understand that weed's never killed anyone.
No.
Right.
Literally never.
Never.
And think about how many people have died from alcohol.
Dude,
I mean, it's just like the rules should literally be just flip them.
There was
Completely.
some court hearing or something. I couldn't tell you where it's from, when it was, but it popped up in my feed the other day. And this guy goes up to speak, and he's like, this year, 500 people died from weed. And he goes, oh, sorry, tiny little. Tiny little. And he just kept doing it over and over with
Right.
alcohol, with everything else. He goes, no one's died from weed. Cut the shit.
Yep.
Like,
it's well, not just that. It goes back to what we also talked about. Propaganda against the whole industry for so long.
Right.
And
Because a big pharma, man.
it's
They don't
it's
want people using
created-
natural
yeah,
remedies.
man,
like heaven forbid I eat too many cookies
Bro,
and watch
like-
a movie.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys knew, like, back in the day, my parents despised anything, marijuana, any of that stuff. They could not stand it. And
I know plenty of
this
people
day
are still
now,
like
bro,
that.
I'm out, doing my thing, and my mom comes out, talks to me, and complete, because they were taught from a young age,
Yeah.
hey, weed's this big issue, it's this big thing, it's going to lead you to meth, it's going to lead you to this, and that. That has nothing to do with
I
it.
remember seeing this video.
It has nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
the
What it has-
gateway drug is what they
yeah,
call
what
it.
it has nothing to do with it. What it has to do with is the individual person.
Right.
You make those individual choices to get what you're at.
Right.
Yep.
I have been using marijuana my entire life, and I have never had any intention to go
Exactly.
do coke. I've never had an intention to go do anything.
Right. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess statistically speaking, people who have quote unquote tried a drug are more likely to try another drug than
Right.
compared to
Yep,
people who have.
Yeah, that is true.
But it doesn't mean you smoke weed, you're gonna go buy some meth.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said,
Yeah,
it comes
they're
down
correlating the fact that pretty much everyone who's done cocaine has smoked weed. That has zero correlation to the
Yes,
weed. That's
exactly.
just people who are willing to snort
to
coke.
try shit. Yeah, it's willing. Hey, I'm willing to smoke this joint. Hey, I'm willing to take that line. Like there's no,
Yeah.
They
It's really crazy how it is.
They seriously need to switch up the propaganda because it's crazy. Because the heroin video that they show in health class is
Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh, bro!
Is
I
it-
did this to me.
Yes,
I did this to me.
yes,
It's like, and he's
yes.
walking in the snow, and you're just like,
For anyone listening in right now or in the future who might not know, I guess it's just the Carroll County area. I don't know how
Yeah,
many
yeah,
people
yeah.
see this video, but it's just
Oh
it's,
my
it's a
goodness.
video basically trying to show what heroin and whatnot does, and it's like this kid who's literally like he's trying like so imagine I go over to my friend's house and her his older brother's like, hey kid, you want heroin? Like it's a joint or
Dude,
something
it
like
always
that.
hurts so bad.
The
to
kid gets
watch.
hooked, and then literally he's like, "Who did this to me? I did this to me."
Did you though,
I
bro?
will never forget just that. And then
But everybody laughs at that shit. Like it's not
It's a
a
joke.
serious
It's a
video.
No,
joke.
not at
It's
all.
not.
Yet, like right down the road, there's a sign where literally it says how many people have overdosed in the county. Like,
There you go. That's all I need to see, and I don't want it.
Yeah.
Not. I did this
Yeah.
to me.
right? That's what I'm saying. They need to show like the scene, like in Breaking Bad, where like Jesse's girlfriend.
That shit, yes.
Yeah,
Like,
they need to
Yeah.
show that to kids,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's gonna prevent a lot of stuff.
show a video of someone having an overdose. That's all you need to do. But I mean, like seriously.
And just stop the nonsense about the weed and
Yeah,
like
the
I don't know.
unrealistic stuff is
Well,
what
yeah,
I'm
like they
on.
act like it's gonna prevent anything. Like the best approach is to be like, look, we know you're gonna do these things,
Yeah.
but we need to tell you like the right approach to doing these things.
Yep.
You know,
They're
you gotta
crazy
tell
about
these.
it.
what you're gonna look for, what to tell. It goes back to you with the whole synthetic weed and shit. Knowing what's weed and what's not. And not being just like flat out. Don't do any of this. It's all bad for you, like they did back in the day. Bad propaganda, yada yada yada. Like shouldn't be that case.
Yeah.
So you should be learning the good properties of it, what to stay away from, like you were stating. And what's the
What
good
not
stuff.
to mix together.
Yes,
They're like,
exactly,
don't
yeah.
drink, don't do pills, but like they needed to be like, look, don't do that, but if you are, don't mix
Yeah,
it.
like
shit like
right
that.
out,
Right.
Don't drink and do acid. I'll tell you that from personal experience. It is not a fun ride.
Yeah.
Some stuff
Noted.
some stuff you do not mix.
The only thing I remember from like those kind of classes were like it wasn't like what pills not to take. It was be wary of the farm parties, and it's just a giant bowl of pills in there.
yeah,
I
Dump
swear to
their
God,
hand, eat
I've
them.
never heard of one farm party
Yeah.
in
Neither have
my
I.
Farm
life.
party,
It's
and I have never heard anyone say they've been to a farm party.
For real.
So I was like,
I don't know anyone that would go to a farm party.
Usually, if you have pills, you're like the sketchy guy. People aren't like, ooh, he's fun.
Bring him.
get that guy.
He brings the
over
farm party.
here. Yeah, get that guy.
Yeah,
in
people are just
Imagine, dude.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I feel like there is articles out there, but like it's seriously rare cases, and I feel like everyone that would go to a farm party, like if they were to be investigated, they would already have serious issues.
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
They'd be like, "Oh, these people are."
Yeah, I've really never even heard of that.
Dude, there's like you. That's not safe. Like you got a bunch of pills in there, you're gonna die, man. If you're
Oh,
mixing,
yeah,
I couldn't
if you're
even
mixing
imagine.
like this, and that, as like they so-called did, like that's not a party, bro. That's just a
Yeah,
mass.
literally,
that's just
if
a
it were
mass fucking-
realistic, it'd be a bunch of people going,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
"What
yeah.
does this
Not
do?"
sticking their hand in the ball game.
Fuck
And-
that. Taking several different. That's crazy.
It's wild. People do some wild
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, which I get, you know, but like you gotta be smart. You
You
gotta
gotta
be.
be-
You gotta have common
Yeah.
sense. Like, okay, these a random assortment of pills probably
Let
isn't.
me see how
safe.
how many I can take and stay alive. Like
Yeah,
what? I don't know. That's just
It's crazy.
it's barbaric.
definitely.
Don't make any sense to me.
I wanted to talk about this because for people listening, we live in northern Maryland, and up until recently, where the dispensaries started coming around here in Carroll County, it was incredibly hard to find consistent, good quality product.
100%.
So, you know, I just wanted to talk about that because, you know, it's hit and miss. Sometimes you get bad stuff, and then you just have scumbags
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there
but
who'll be robbing people, stuff like that. I mean, is there any experiences with that?
Thankfully, I've never had anything like that. I mean, I've usually known
Hemp-
enough people to like get a quality
Good
quality
product,
product. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But like, I've definitely had people I trust give me bad weed, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Damn, bro, I didn't know." Like,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, I don't hold it against them, but like
It
you
was
said,
more
it
likely
was
than
hard to
not
find
Hemp,
consistent.
though, right?
That's the
A lot of
thing.
times.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like you'd be
hemp,
just
the hemp,
smoking
the
hemp,
hemp.
and you'd be like, "Bro, you just sold me some trash," and you'd be like, "Bro, my
Yeah.
bad. Like, I didn't even know. I just got it like 2 days ago."
Mhm.
But
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
I've-
unfortunate.
shit happens.
Yeah, personally, I don't think I had a pretty good setup for the most part.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
From
never
who
really had.
from who I was getting from.
No, but there's definitely some trash out there. I mean, back in like freshman year, sophomore year of high
Oh,
school, I mean,
dude, no,
people were
one of the-
smoking hot dog water in the bathrooms, dog.
Oh my
One of
god!
the
Yeah, I
first-
literally have here vape cartridge crisis.
Yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
people were smoking freaking
The
Literally
dang
hot dog water.
vapes and
Yep, yep.
whatnot.
yeah, the Chronopolis, bro.
Dude, I remember. I remember. I don't know
Oh
if
my
it was
Jesus!
I don't remember if it was my junior. I think it was my senior year. Like, you couldn't even really find flour, like, because everyone only had those ghost carts.
Yeah.
And I remember
were-
like
they were
even the
blown
even,
up.
Chronopoly was crazy.
even the person that I normally would go to for just straight like regular flour, he'd be like, I got carts. That's it, man. I don't know about you guys, but
I
for
knew
a long
more-
time,
yeah.
I couldn't get any actual bud. Like I was.
It's
just
almost like
using-
That's why I'm so excited for
Pokemon
June.
cards back then. It was like
Yeah,
you're trading them,
yeah.
you're collecting sets.
Yeah, dude, you got,
everyone
like,
had
got
their
the
had
Mario
their,
Kart
had their
Luigi.
pens in their cart, bro. Like
What people fail to realize is like when it comes to weed packaging, like because people be buying like empty bags,
Yeah.
and put, you know, of designer weed and putting
Yeah.
you know boof in there.
Frags, yeah.
Yeah, and also like when it comes to the designs on the bags or for the cartridges or for flour, people gotta realize if your shit says Fruit Loops, it's fake. You think Kellogg's is signing off on these vape cartridges? Like,
no, they're
Yeah.
not.
people gotta realize like because there's all sorts of brands that are attractive and that's why people want to put them on their packages, but people are eating it up.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's the easiest way to tell if it's fake.
I mean, that's the thing though. You see a cart that's flavored like Coca-Cola, you're like, yes, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, of course, but it's trash.
Like
and
we
that's why I'm
couldn't
glad that
even legally sell anything like that because if packaging can't appeal to kids
Mhm.
whatsoever, and
Right.
Yeah,
attend like FDA seminars through other companies, whatnot, to stay ahead on that stuff. There's
They
all
are cracking
kinds of
down
stuff,
on it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and that's, I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Like, one of the main reasons we didn't go into the carts and stuff, because like I said, it's a profitable thing to do. It's you can
Right.
really flip some good profit. So, but you can't sell them legally unless you something like
Registered with the
smokables.
ATF,
Smokables have to be
US
registered with the
General
ATF.
Attorney.
Gotcha. So is that the same thing why you haven't done the flour?
I don't think
No,
flour
but
matters because it's
it's-
a plant.
Yeah.
It's
So the
the
flower, so you have the industrial hemp plant and you got the cannabis marijuana plant.
Mhm.
Okay.
They're all in that cannabis sativa L family. Hemp plant was legalized under 2018 under the Farm Bill, and that plant has to have less than 0.03% THC.
0.3.
0.3, okay, 0.3 by dry weight. And because it's by dry weight, you can extract the THC and use it for like gummies and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But the actual bud itself isn't going to be good. It's like that's why we can't do it because marijuana isn't legal yet.
that's changing.
Yeah, we're all about to
That's
lay
true.
plants down real soon.
No,
Yeah, so that was I had a note about that too. So how's the company going to evolve when it becomes recreational?
Do you wanna let them know about the Pocono?
Oh yeah, I'll let them know. But well, there's two Poconos, but
The one that we were just at.
yeah.
Can I vape down here? Or
Oh yeah,
so-
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was gonna say
Poconos, man. Whew.
well, the Poconos were definitely something, but we like the whole dynamic with the cannabis and hemp industry is really weird right now. Like, so my thought is once the cannabis industry kind of gets green lit, the hemp industry is kind of gonna go away almost because
Right.
hemp is legal federally. So like statewide, every state can grow hemp. Anyone can grow hemp, and it's not that way with cannabis. So the way I see it is you could still be getting super cheap Delta
Well,
8
actually,
products.
You can't actually grow hemp. Anyone can't.
Well, right, but it's legal everywhere. So like,
Correct.
there's a lot of people doing it, and like stuff like these gummies, if you were to compare that to cannabis-derived gummies, I mean, you could make them for a fraction of the cost. So people like me, I mean, I'd rather spend $10 on 150 milligrams than 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The
So
prices are
they're
insane
gonna
out
try
here.
to flush out the hemp almost. So I think we're gonna kind of need to transition almost. So kind of just like do what we do now with cannabis flower as opposed to hemp flower. I mean, that's the way I see it because you can get the same cannabinoids.
Right.
You can get all the CBD. Like that could be infused with hemp derived CBD or cannabis. It really doesn't make a difference.
No, it
It's the
doesn't at
same
all.
cannabinoid, right?
Gotcha.
So that's where I see it.
Okay.
But yeah, someone wants to mention the Pocono. I mean, I know
The-
I wasn't
the
at
only
the
thing
last
that I
one.
was gonna get into was when we were at the Pocono event. There was a lot of people there selling a lot of weed, and there
Black
were a lot,
market.
Ah.
and I mean making ridiculous money. Like I mean, and we made good money just from our product, and we weren't like just straight
No
up
one's-
honest. We weren't selling
Right.
what
Everyone
a lot of people were
coming there-
actually there for was
Yeah.
for to get high and actually have bud.
Right.
And we did as good as we did, which was awesome. And then just seeing that, like how like some of those actual people did that were selling bud, like we got back to the room afterwards and we were all like, dude,
This is crazy.
that was insane. Like we were like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
haven't really talked too much about it. I feel like really since then, but
I mean,
we
if
had
you
a few days for there where we were
Yeah.
like, bro, once things start coming closer and things start kind of coming to, we should talk about it and open the conversation up.
yeah, 100%.
And
I
we
mean,
won't name the event and stuff, but we're gonna do a few so far. And you wouldn't believe these things. Like the process to have your application approved to get into them is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We have to have 3 million general liability for insurance
Wow.
to sell there.
Yeah.
Shit.
And you got
Crazy.
people selling on the tables ridiculous amounts of pot. And there's thousands and thousands of people coming through. And it's just crazy that like these things are just right there. And everyone, all the local governments, everyone knows about them.
Yep.
It's just kind of look the other way, I think.
So like a flea market for weed.
literally.
exactly
Literally
what
what
it
it is.
Shit,
Like,
man.
there was this one stand there, bro, that was behind our stand that I went to a few times because the guy was selling 3 pre-rolls for $10.
Damn.
So at first I'm thinking 3 pre-rolls for 10, these can't be like that good. You know, it's probably gonna be some shitty stuff. They were big. I smoked one. I was done, bro. I was like, I just spent $10 on 3 pre-rolls, and this is like the shit that I'm getting, bro. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
You
Yeah.
got people walking out there with full-size plants. Like there's,
Damn.
there's like electric like I guess skateboards, which is one wheel underneath.
Yeah, yeah.
The one wheel, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a gravel road. This dude's rolling down on that. He's got 2 joints sticking out the side.
Oh
He's
my
got
God.
2 plants like this, and he's just rolling.
That's
It was
awesome.
unbelievable,
Like
bro.
bucket hat. Like I was like, damn.
It was a different world. Honestly, the Poconos, that whole weekend for us ended up being a whole freaking event, man. Like our power to the hotel ends up going out
Damn.
one night, and so for the whole night, so we ended up going to this bar one time because that was the only place that had power for some reason. That whole weekend was a blast.
Yeah, I dropped everyone off at the bar and went to get gas to charge my phone and stuff. And going to the gas station, going out of it, for whatever reason, there was only like one exit, and you got the concrete barriers on like the state route, whatever it was, and I was stuck on this road for like 30 miles. And it's like 11 o'clock at
That
night.
is
I'm
tough.
like, this fucking sucks. Get to go back, all disgusting from being outside all day, raining,
Yeah.
can't shower, can't even see in the room.
Couldn't do anything, dude. The toilet wasn't working, bro.
Damn.
The toilet wasn't working.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
And they
worst
didn't-
case
You weren't
scenario.
didn't
there. Yeah,
refund
Nathan
us.
wasn't there. Yeah, they didn't get the refund.
Not yet.
Damn.
Not yet. Not yet.
And that was only one of the events. There was one in Philly too. I mean, that was one that I was at.
Yeah,
And
you were-
It was
I
the
wasn't
same
at
deal.
that one.
Like you go there and you think like it's like okay, there's gonna be a bunch of businesses in here, really professional. Like I gotta be all my shit. Not like I walk in, there's like a gallon of lemonade. It says like 4,000 milligrams infused. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like the limit
Oh
in
my-
Maryland and PA is 150 per container, and these dudes are selling by the
It was-
4,000. I
That's
was like,
crazy.
bro.
And it's like red Solo cup vibe. Like you
Yeah, I
$5
can't imagine
for
what the
some infused
proportions
lemonade.
are like.
It was insane.
I bought like Doritos that were infused, a goldfish. It was crazy.
Oh my god.
Just crazy. Just handing out cookies.
I mean, I don't know. The one thing that I also noticed was like going back to the night we went out to the bar when we were at the Poconos. Like we went out at one point and smoked a joint. Like me and two of our other guys that work with us, Mitch and Sen. We went up to the bartender and we just had been smoking weed all day. So we were like at a place where we were allowed to. Like we were sitting there all day openly smoking joints and no one could do shit. And so we were like, yo, dude, could we go out and like smoke a joint? He's like, we don't fucking care, dude. And then after that, there was like a few old couples that were also at this bar and they were outside. And we got to talking with them, and we're lighting this joint, and they end up realizing we've got a joint, and like this like old 60-year-old lady's like, she's like, can I hit that? And so we're passing it around with this old couple, and it was just, I guess what I was getting at was just like the environment was really cool, and a lot of
It's sick.
it was so like, and people were all about it. They were like, is that like actual weed, or is that like like some shit? And I'm like, no, it's the actual stuff. And they were having a good time. We were having a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
I
was
love
a
like,
vibe, bro.
the cannabis
It was-
community, bro. It's
it is-
always happy.
There
uplifting
wasn't
people,
one.
man.
There wasn't one like bad experience
Yeah.
that I had with anyone there. Like everyone was respectful. Even the
Nice.
people that had no intention to get our product, they had no
Right.
intention to do anything. They were just super respectful and awesome, and that was
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool to
Yeah.
see. So
Yeah, it's been an adventure.
Hell yeah.
for sure, no
So,
doubt.
aside from like being all natural and stuff, what would you say sets your products aside from other? And like, how else would you say you deal with saturation in the market? Because it's definitely a big market for sure.
So one of the things that really sets us aside, I feel, is not just that the ingredients are natural, but they all serve a purpose. Like the hemp seed oil is rich in your omega fatty acids. Grape seeds, the vitamin E. Elderberry, natural preservative, also anti-inflammatory. Got your natural essential oils. We also carry an unscented version for people with super sensitive skin.
Right.
And it's just like other little things like we do pet tinctures, and that's naturally flavored bacon and chicken for like pets, and it tastes really good.
Nice.
So we all tried it, and
It's crazy.
we get the flavoring from a local company.
Okay.
Like we're trying to do everything like that we can. We're
I think really the biggest thing that does set us apart is the fact that it is all natural. Like, you really can't find all natural skincare, all natural supplements, and like that's
It's
another
hard.
big thing. We're starting a new brand called AP Labs. It's gonna be a gym brand, and like we really are trying to keep our supplements all natural because
Did you bring the bottle?
Yeah. That's the.
this is muscle repair lotion,
So
Hell
it's
yeah.
currently sold under Alpha
branded
Hemp
as the
Solutions,
Alpha Hemp.
but it will be
version of
under AP Labs pretty shortly.
Yeah, but like I said, you look for a pre-workout. I mean, you don't even want to look at the ingredients list. I promise.
yeah.
The post-workout, same thing. Like we're working on formulas to make stuff where you know what you're ingesting is good for you, and it's gonna do what you need to do. It's gonna be high in protein, like that. You would not find an icy hot product that's all natural. There's
Oh,
nothing.
no.
There's nothing like it.
Well, not just that, but leading into like the top industry, who's kind of leading is Hemp's, and we
Their
were
shit is trash.
We were in a store not too long ago, trying to like proposing this thing to this. I think it was a hair place. I think it was a hair place. I'm pretty sure it was like a salon. or
Excuse me
something.
1 second.
And we go in there and they've got the Hemp's bottle in there. So right off the bat we're thinking, crap, they've already got Hemp's in here. And I hadn't even looked at the bottle yet, to be honest. Like I had known that they're not all natural. Like that was known
Right.
from the get go. But I end up like while Shane's talking with the person, I'm like looking at this bottle and I'm just mind boggled the stuff they have in there. And I know you said like besides the all natural, but I really think that is what our thing is, man. Is all these things
I
are not
gotcha.
all natural. They're not. And the thing is they propose they are. So they'll be like, we have all natural ingredients, which yes, they might. They might have some all natural ingredients, but that's not what all their products made out of.
I gotcha.
They've got all that underlining crap. So
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of things that these people try to do, like if you look at the ingredients list on most products, it's like too much to even comprehend.
Yeah.
And like our
Can't
Not
read
even gonna,
half
you're
the
not
shit.
even gonna want to read it. Like,
yeah,
it's-
exactly.
It takes your mind away from actually like I don't care. I'm not even gonna look at it.
Exactly,
It's too
and that's a
much.
problem.
That's bad.
You
Yeah.
our stuff. I mean, I don't know what our cap is, but none of our products have more than 6, 7 ingredients, 8 maybe.
No,
I
like,
mean,
I
might
think
be
eight, no,
a
I think the
little
muscle
more.
recoveries are.
Yeah, like that
the
has a
most.
bunch of amino acids and stuff like that, and
But
taurine
even the
and stuff
ingredients
like
we added
that.
to that one, like Shane was saying earlier, they all have a purpose.
Right.
The arnica, the
Yep.
clove oil, all that stuff. It's it helps with the blood circulation, the recovery process. Everything that we include has a purpose.
Yeah, and that stuff, the muscle repair stuff is sweet.
Oh, yeah.
One of our other guys, Mitchell Kepler.
Yep.
He hopped on with us. He went to school for exercise science, and he
Here's these two also, just
runs
for you
the
to keep.
Anytime
Thank you,
Fitness
man.
gym
Appreciate
up in Westminster, up by like the IHOP. He runs that, and he's studied this stuff. He used to power lift real heavy, and
Yeah.
he really wanted something that was not only truly natural, but really help people. And it's funny because that right there has been our best seller across the board.
Gotcha.
The
So
muscle repair.
that's why we're diversifying into brands. So like that'll go to AP
So-
Labs.
When it comes to the repair aspect, is it for people who are doing like real heavy lifting and stuff, or can it be for people who are just kind of doing day-to-day stuff as
day-to-day
well?
stuff, man. Like we told people, labor workers, anybody, if you're doing anything where you're constant hand-on base, or you're like, I have a guy in my class, he's not doing anything crazy, but he's constantly using his shoulder because he's picking stuff up because he's like a supply room person for like Lowe's or something.
I got
He's
you.
like, I'm constantly lifting heavy stuff up. He's like, and I got this hell of a problem with my shoulder. So I was like, hey bro, you slap
I'm
that
probably
stuff on
gonna
there.
be a good customer of that as well, because I work in a warehouse lifting boxes of books
sure.
all day.
It's huge,
So-
man. And the big thing that we always put in for that is it also comes with consistency. So I do think with a lot of
Yeah,
the
very
times we
true.
say, a lot of people, especially in this day and age, think that everything's a miracle work and it's gonna work right off the bat. It's not how anything works. It's consistent use and staying with it, and that's when you see results, and that's when you'll see.
I will say though, with especially the CBD infused lotion, I mean that stuff does provide instant relief.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I'm not
100%.
saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but what I'm saying is I'm
You're
just
100%
stating
right,
it's
yes.
it's
No,
not,
yeah,
this isn't gonna just it's not but
And that would be this here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
CBD
CBD
infused.
Good to know.
But like same thing with muscle recovery. I mean, like it's not like you're gonna leave the gym and I mean I'm sure some people do. Like some people who don't lift, if they're gonna leave the gym in excruciating pain, that would help you a lot.
Yeah.
For someone like me, like I don't really. It's hard for me to get sore actually because I try to lift a lot, but I'll throw that on after a workout and you'll feel the effects of it. I mean, your veins will start to pop out.
That's
You'll
good
feel
to
the
know.
blood
Yeah.
flowing.
Like I don't go to the gym, but I have
Not
really
yet.
bad no yeah really bad circulation in my hands. So
Okay.
especially like first thing in the morning, and I'm sitting down all day, it helps a lot because like it gets a point in the day, especially like first half hour of my morning sitting at the computer, my hands go completely numb.
Right.
I can't feel them.
I don't know if you ever like been outside in the cold and then try to text. Your fingers
fingers
literally
can't
don't
move.
work.
Yeah.
Or like you're trying to play video games with cold hands. Like throw that
Well,
on.
that was
Get
the
some,
one
get some
we-
blood flowing into your.
we were at one
Open up the
event, and
veins in your hands.
Green Dragon.
Yeah, it was at Green Dragon.
Yep.
It was cold. Like I mean, it was cold.
Freezing.
cold. And then Mitch ended up having a great idea. He was like, "Yo, let's just slap the muscle crease. Like it's
Warm you
and
right
it-
up.
and
Damn.
I shit
All
you
day
not,
we're
it
over there
worked.
just-
We rubbed it on our arms, our hands, and we were like, "Dude, I'm kind of toasting up. I'm feeling good."
It just brings the blood to your to the surface. Yeah, and opens up
yeah.
your veins.
Nice. So when it comes to like your natural ingredients and stuff, you said you like to source them locally and whatnot.
Where
we
we
can.
can.
Yeah, where we
Okay.
can.
So like the flavoring for that stuff, we found someone super close.
Okay.
That's awesome. Some of the other stuff, we can't just because volume we have to order and quality of it. But we do everything by hand. It's like label design. Nathan's done almost all of them, and then we print, cut, put everything on by hand. So
It's a lot of
it's
work.
neat. Everything's in house.
Gotcha. So what would you say to someone who uses mainly THC to get them to try CBD products and stuff? In other words, like what does THC not do that CBD does?
Depends on what you're using the THC for.
Okay.
So like
Yeah.
if you're somebody who smokes weed to help you go to sleep for anxiety and stuff like that, CBD is going to be great for that. Usually going to be a tincture or a gummy. The lotion can help with that stuff, but that's really for specific pain
Right.
and things like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I would lean with that. But I mean, if you put CBD lotion on where you have pain, it's going to help. So you wouldn't necessarily need to smoke a joint if you're just smoking a joint to take away your
Gotcha.
back pain.
I think one of the big things, like a lot of people smoke weed for the psychoactive effects. They could give two shits about the inflammation relief that is like a side effect of it, right? But like for some people who smoke weed to get hungry or smoke weed to, like help with their treatments if they got cancer, all that stuff. Like people who don't smoke weed for the high part of it, it's just like that's the side effect of it.
Right.
That's where the CBD will shine because it has a lot of the same properties as THC, but it's just the non-psychoactive.
Right.
And that's even, sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
Well, that's one thing even we've had people come to us, they don't want to get the high aspect, but they just want to have, the health benefits from, the CBD and stuff like that. And we provide that. We got broad spectrum, we've got, all that stuff that's not going to give you that high, but gives those health benefits.
And you can't really overdo it with CBD. Like
you can't.
Like if you were to smoke too much weed, you're not feeling too good.
Right.
But you're really getting a lot of benefits too.
I'm a CBD guy,
I got
not
you.
a THC guy. One of them gummies, I am done.
Yeah.
Cannot comprehend anything. Like it is the craziest thing. I have no. It's like
A lot of people's like body chemistry reacts different too.
different.
It
I swear
depends on a
his
lot
has
of
changed because he used to be a big smoker back in the day. Well,
Man,
not
were you
big, but
You would
smoke.
smoked. We would
wouldn't
freak
freak
smoke,
out.
yeah.
And now it's like, oh my god.
But going back to like what you said, like everyone being different. I mean, you guys know this. Gummies don't do shit for me.
Mhm.
Like, they don't.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
they hadn't
and
until recently.
well, there was the one that Amy did make this one that I didn't get high though. It just put me straight to sleep.
Dude,
Like I just I was high for a very small amount of time until I was actually just knocked out. But other than that, man, like I found like a lot of these gummies.
You
Personally,
took
for
one
me,
that one time?
Huh?
It was one.
I just took the one. Yeah. You took what?
Amy gave me two, and I literally, it felt like I took edibles for the first time, dude.
Yeah, she
So-
said you.
I just realized something while you're talking. Back to your question, THC, CBD. Someone who smokes THC to sleep, that can be super, super helpful. A lot of people that do it. But one of the things we do is we have a CBN nighttime tincture.
Yep.
CBN is great for sleep.
It's a
A
nighttime.
lot of
nap.
people selling CBN tinctures, like they'll say 1,000 milligrams.
Right.
That's odds are that's probably the total amount of milligrams of all the cannabinoids in the tincture. Probably have less than 100 milligrams CBN.
See, CBN's hard to source. It's really
very
scarce. So like, 10 grams of that costs way more than 10 grams of CBD. You know what
So
I
we
mean?
do a 3,000 milligram one, and it lists 1,000 milligrams CBD, CBN, and CBG. And CBG is great. It's one of the mother cannabinoids, so it helps all the cannabinoids work together
Gotcha.
through the entourage effect.
And I also saw like CBG as well.
Cannabigerol, yeah.
So what is that?
That's what he's talking about, the mother.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It
Okay.
kind of helps, like when you put multiple cannabinoids together, they actually work better than if they were alone. It's called the entourage effect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty dope. I didn't see, like, that's the kind of shit I did not know until I started this company.
One thing that I didn't even know was a lot of things is there's only. Tell me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but there's only like 2 things that have a cannabinoid system, right?
It's dogs and humans.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if other
obviously but and then obviously the plants the plants the only other one.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
endocannabinoids.
Yeah, the
I could be wrong
endocannabinoid,
about that, actually.
That can't be a coincidence. If you're gonna tell me that the only things on this planet that have that are the marijuana plant, and dogs. I didn't know dogs, but humans.
I don't know if it's.
Let me see. Let me look it up.
I don't know.
think
I
there's a
know
few more.
humans do.
From what Amy
But I know
I remember
not all
what Amy
animals
was
do.
talking about was like it's very few that do have that endocannabinoid
Interesting.
system, and that is derivative like from the marijuana and hemp seed plant. So that's just
She claims it's meant for us.
it's meant. Yeah, she
Yeah.
says it's
Yeah.
fate. You know what I mean? It's like
Guaranteed.
God put this plant on here, to help us.
It's actually like, if you look through history, they've used CBD before.
Yeah.
Like, back in
I was
Asia.
gonna say
and-
well, not even that.
and-
Get into the whole hemp clothes and all
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
everything.
Hemp can
man.
be used to make like
All of it.
endless amounts
That
of
was
stuff.
a lot of people like don't realize that was what like all of our stuff was made of for the longest time was hemp,
clothing,
hemp,
concrete,
all of it.
paracords was a big one.
Rope, dude. That is hemp rope. You can't get really a
It's
stronger rope than
It's super strong.
Yeah.
The plant can grow almost anywhere.
Yeah, the hemp industry could like easily take over dozens of others if it came to.
Yeah, because if your clothes last forever, you're not buying new
Dude, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Apparently, all animals have an endocannabinoid system, including fish. So you can get a fish fire.
Well, either way, that's just
Imagine.
but that's still that it doesn't change it. Either way, it's like we still have that endocannabinoid.
Right, no, but that's the
system.
thing, like,
and the marijuana is
our
the only,
bodies are meant to
is meant
have
to
this
have
as a
that.
part of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the point that I guess Amy was really trying to get to, and I was trying to get to.
She
but, yeah.
preaches like if you take CBD regularly, it'll like bring balance to your body, and I think she's right. Like,
No, dude, she's
Yeah,
what,
helps
isn't
you
she
achieve
big on all that? She's like,
equilibrium. And there's science behind all of it, and
Yeah.
especially nowadays, every day is something new. They're doing research across the board everywhere.
It's good to know. So I wanted you to describe the full spectrum and broad spectrum stuff to people and what that means, because I saw it listed on some of the tinctures and stuff. Because I
I
want
mean,
people
any
to-
one of us can answer that question. I can do it. So, full spectrum means, so you can have, right, so let's say you're talking about a CBD tincture, and that's the only cannabinoid, and it's a CBD tincture, but it's full spectrum. That means there will be trace amounts of, like, everything that's in the plant in there.
Gotcha.
So, like, you could get very small amounts of THC and theoretically fail a drug test. So if someone works in the
Okay.
government and they can't even, like, have that as a risk, you'd be recommending broad spectrum for them.
Okay.
But for full spectrum, like, or sorry, so like with broad spectrum, they have to isolate the cannabinoid completely, so it's just the one cannabinoid.
Okay.
But then broad, if you have a full spectrum
So-
tincture, you got everything. So
Gotcha.
in theory, it would work a little better.
Okay. Now, on the topic of CBN and just the sleep tincture stuff, I wanted to talk about people who like overuse NyQuil and melatonin and stuff
Oh, yeah.
like that. Because
It's funny. I've taken melatonin just a handful of times.
right?
I feel horrendous when I wake up in the morning. Like, I mean, it's like I have a hangover.
I haven't
don't know
had that
exactly what it is,
experience.
but that sucks for me.
Right.
Like, I've heard the same story from a lot of people.
Well, I was gonna even get into like how we even got to the CBD.
that's a
thing,
great
You know what
idea.
I mean? Because
Yeah.
I feel like we had this one lady. She was coming by a few times. Hadn't really bought anything yet, but she kept mentioning, I struggle with sleep, and her big thing is she would fall asleep, but then she'd wake up and she couldn't go back to sleep. Like she would be in that state of where I'm up, I can't, And she was saying that it has been a big problem. Like she hasn't had like a good rest in so long, and she would ask us if we had anything for that. And at the time, we didn't. Like I think the best thing we possibly would have had to help with sleep was
Like a broad spectrum, full
was
spectrum
our tincture.
Yeah.
We got to talking, all of us, because I mentioned, hey, that's like the fourth or fifth person that's came to us about having sleep issues and asking if
Right.
we've had anything for sleep. Shane ends up looking at it and he's like, yo, there's the CBN and all this stuff. And we end up creating this Sleepy Time tincture. We hit her up and let her know about it, and she comes back the following week, and she was like, I haven't had that good, what do you call it, restless or like you don't wake up at all. You don't-
Restlessness.
yeah, like
Yeah.
she was like that, like she's like, I actually had a good night of sleep.
Damn.
And that was a big part is why we got into that CBN stuff, man. Is actually that's a big part why we got into multiple of our different products. Is
That's
people,
how we've done everything.
How
It's
good did
people-
that feel to get
It
that
is
response
huge.
from her?
Well, it's huge because not even that. I mean, even when the muscle repair lotion came out, we had boxers and other people, even with our CBD lotion, would come back later on and be like, dude, I get done with my gym workout or my boxing workout, specifically the boxing guy. He's like, I throw that stuff on after every single workout. He's like, and I'm ready to go the next freaking day.
Dude, there's a 70-year-old dude who runs like
Yeah, that guy.
marathons, and he's big on the muscle repair lotion.
I
He,
love seeing
he
dudes
throws
like
that stuff
man.
on all the time.
It's motivating, and
Yeah.
it's a big part,
Yeah.
So we're-
And one thing that I was gonna say, and I'm not trying to sound like that guy, but we tell people, hey, if there's something you don't like, or if there's something that's bad about this product, like tell us, like let us know,
100%.
you know. And I hate to say it, we've had one person that's made a complaint. I think.
I don't even know.
I think that was only had to do with the pricing, wasn't it? The lady had the issue with the price or something.
I don't even think
Yeah,
I
there's
can
always
remember
gonna be
anything
Either way, like
negative.
my point is like even at these stores that we have samples at, we'll go in and ask them like, hey, how's product moving? How's everything going? And they're like, dude, even people that aren't buying it and they're coming up and trying it are obsessed with it.
Wow.
Like they're loving it. They're taking cards, and
Going off what Alex is saying, we all have like business work numbers. We all have our own business cards.
Yep.
So they get handed out by whoever's handing them out at Farmers Market. Call me,
Yep.
text me.
Yep.
We text, customers text us all the time. Hey, this, that, like, do you think?
Well,
or thank you.
going off of that, going back to the lady with the CBN stuff, me and her were in contact for a long time. Like she let me know, like, hey, like how's it, looking on the product, and all this stuff, and it's cool to see like the people that like really are like caring and interested in that, and they're really wanting, and they trust us for that, like, and that's huge,
super
man,
cool.
and it feels good. It's a good feeling. We're providing something for people that is all natural, that is healthy, and we're seeing positive results, and that's all.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So this perfect segue, because you were talking about getting into the stores and whatnot. I wanted you to talk about the local businesses that you've been able to get your
Yeah,
products in.
yeah.
Sunny Days, that had to be a big one.
Yeah.
Oh man, we were
Sunny,
so hyped.
dude, Sunny, that was
The first one.
that was the first one, and I remember
Okay.
I remember that feeling, man. Like when Shane like told us about that, it was like that feeling of it's going, it's starting, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then from then it just went to another place. We had a place in Philadelphia that he
quite a few.
Yeah, a few ones. You know, we're up in Bowman's. We're in Hans, Pork and Beans.
Nice.
Kelly plus Co. on Main Street. That's a big one for us.
Yeah, Kelly's awesome.
Phenomenal.
She is
She's amazing.
a wonderful
woman.
person and super smart
Which
business
business is
owner.
that again?
It's called Kelly and Co. It's Kelly plus
Okay.
Co. She's
Okay.
does like furniture,
Gotcha.
and a lot of other small stuff
It's like
she's-
home store
Yeah,
almost.
she's
pretty
got
much everything.
candles, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she's so wonderful because she helps us in so many different ways, as in approaches, business tactics. Hey, she gives us suggestions on how to do things a little bit better.
She'll tell
and-
us when something's like bad too. She'll
Yes.
be like,
Oh yeah.
don't do this.
Awesome. Like,
Gotcha.
she's helped us so much. It's not even funny.
And that's just another big thing I've noticed. Like a lot of people who are in the entrepreneur world, the business world, they're just willing to help you because you're in the same boat together. You know, it's just like
Definitely.
100%. Yeah, just like if you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. We are on the same team almost. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Have you ever heard of Restore Therapy Spa?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Actually
right up on
watched
my
that.
house.
Your podcast with her this morning.
Yeah, nice. I was gonna suggest, if you haven't talked to her yet, definitely talk to Dr. Ann.
Is that the one by Hoffman's?
Yes.
Is she the blonde lady?
Dude,
Is that the guy?
my
blonde?
my
Does your dad know her?
my dad does yoga with one of the
Okay.
people who work there, but she actually just quit from my gym. She doesn't do yoga anymore. But
Ah,
it's super crazy. We literally made a CBD massage oil to give to the girl named Katie. She was the one. She still works at Restore. Funny enough.
But
to-
I go to her.
Yeah, we literally formulated a whole massage oil for her, but we ran into problems with the packaging, and we really haven't got around to fixing it yet. It's just because
Okay.
like the oil will
Like
damage the labels is what happens.
gotcha.
It almost like leaks through in a way.
But yeah, like a CBD infused massage oil. I mean, just think about that. And you know how amazing it would feel to get that shit rubbed deep into your tissue.
Yeah, because I know that they have I think they offer a CBD add-on and stuff in their massages.
That's
so
awesome.
if y'all weren't aware, I wanted to make sure.
No,
you
I
were.
didn't.
Dude.
I wasn't aware that
100%.
they have the CBD part.
I didn't know that either.
We got to get there then.
Got to get in contact.
Get in
Funny
contact.
enough,
Yeah.
small world.
Yeah, because I'm sure local business they would love
Yeah,
to
100%.
collaborate and whatnot. So are there any other businesses that are going to be coming soon or that aren't listed?
I mean, not in terms of like new entities, but we're gonna really cut it up and hit market segments hard.
Okay.
Things are
With
about
brands.
to once
Yeah.
once school's down. So we've been lately. We've been a little bit more, especially with me. I am on the sales side. Like I'm the ones talking to the stores and stuff. With school, we just had to take a backtrack with everything. So
Right.
we had a whole store tracker of all these stores that we have been calling, and we've have ones that are super interested. We have ones that are just like don't care, don't want anything to do with hemp,
Yeah.
nothing to do with CBD. Don't contact us again, which is totally fine. Get it. But once, after the 17th, man, it's gonna be
Greenlit.
greenlit. I think me and Shane were talking the other day. Our plan is right now is to, at a minimum, try to get in at least 4 or 5 stores a month.
Gotcha.
By that point, going full time.
And one of the things we realized pretty quickly and kind of took a step back was the name Alpha Hemp Solutions hurts us so much it's not even funny.
Yeah.
It is
How so?
crazy.
Oh.
Just the name,
Yep.
man.
Wow.
Like
So our
Damn,
skincare, the people who buy our skincare products are not the people who are typically buying hemp products.
Right.
So we're switching things up. So you'll still have Alpha Hemp Solutions, but be more specifically focused on cannabinoid side of things, not just your hemp seed natural lotion. So then we're gonna have that AP Labs, which will have your muscle repair, hemp protein powder, stuff like that. Nate was saying, and then we have a luxury skincare brand that's in the works, and
Okay.
then a holistic brand as well, and that'll cover like all the natural side of things without having the restriction of the name, because I've been banned on, my God, I think everything at this point.
Really?
Email
try to market your
campaigns,
stuff?
social media,
I
advertising.
have heard of that
Google.
in the cannabis industry, actually. Yeah.
It's like
It's really difficult to get ads
it's
out.
hard.
I mean, dude, you'll put a picture of like the hemp seed lotion, and it just has a little infographic, anti-inflammatory, omega fatty acids, and it gets taken down. It doesn't even have cannabinoids in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this podcaster, one that I listen to, his name's Dope as Yola. He was like a weed YouTuber, I guess is what you would call it. He had a whole bunch of stories of
Right.
high schools getting high stories and whatnot, and he's got a podcast and stuff. I forget how many times his Instagram has been taken down.
Oh, yeah.
but it's dozens of times.
That sucks.
Dozens, yeah, and it's like I don't even think he posts stuff that is worth taking down.
Yeah, it's just it's
bunch of
stuff
haters,
you feel
man.
Like they don't even want to.
People get blacklisted on the internet for that shit. It's crazy.
Yes, we got that, and then there'll be other things with, like the holistic brand we want to do. Like, have you heard of blue tea?
Describe it. I
So
don't
it's
know.
it's called the butterfly pea flower, and it comes from Thailand, and it's essentially like loose tea, except the benefits are so much more than all the other teas. It's like you combined them all,
Okay.
and it's this beautiful blue color. And like you can squeeze a lemon, it turns pink, and it's been growing in popularity in Asia. So
Okay.
we're gonna have the tea under there, and we
Nice.
also infuse the lotion with the tea.
Mm.
That's what Amy did. It's this beautiful blue color,
Oh yeah, it looks really nice.
and then it has mushrooms in it as well
Ah.
for the benefits there. Because skin is your largest organ.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know or forget.
And I'm gonna be honest. The first time Amy like had done this and she had made the tea and everything, and she like,
It's cool.
and I mean, I'll be honest. I was hesitant at first. Like I was like, I don't know about this, and I'm a huge tea drinker. Like my mom's from England. I love tea.
Yeah.
But there was just something about it being like a blue tea in this mason jar. Then I was just like, I had things about it at first. I was just like, I don't know if this is gonna fly for the old Hughes boy.
Looks like the slurp
Right,
juice.
But I tried,
Yeah,
man.
it does.
Yeah, it was like the slurp juice. I tried, and it was actually really good. It has
Sometimes the
this-
stuff,
half-
how stuff looks can really be
Yeah, man.
off-putting.
I don't know if you know like the taste of chamomile tea. It has this great mix of a green tea and a chamomile tea.
Okay.
And it tastes wonderful, man. It's really nice, and I was very surprised. Personally, I would totally drink that shit. Like if I just had like a mason jar of it, like she did.
I really should get back into drinking more tea, man. Like
Tea's good. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like for me, like I know everyone like you got. I'm not sure if you guys are coffee drinkers, big coffee
Oh
drinkers
yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
For me, my thing is I don't wake up and have a cup of coffee. I wake up and have a cup of tea. That's just been my household.
I need to get on
you know,
that,
for
man.
generations, and I don't get as it gives me like that wake up that I guess coffee does, but I don't feel so like I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just me. But when I
jittery.
drink
I like
coffee, when I
caffeine,
drink
dude, I
coffee,
really
bro,
do.
like I
Yeah.
get real jittery and it just makes me feel weird.
Except Good Time Health's coffee. That won't make
That
you
is
jittery.
true. Good time health, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna
Stuff's
bring them up
amazing.
because I don't drink black coffee. Every time I've had black coffee, I've been like, this is horrendous.
Yeah, it's horrific.
Same-
I know what you mean.
same.
I tried theirs black.
It's very
You
good.
didn't. You don't need anything.
Yeah.
I was
nah.
the same way. I was shocked because I'm the same way, dude. If I have any kind of coffee, I need cream, sugar. Like I can't do straight black. And he was like, dude, don't put anything in it. Like I promise you. And I was
I
like,
believe it's because the cordyceps are
Yeah.
more
I don't know.
sweet about
It blows my mind their coffee tastes as good as it
Bitter.
does.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Ethan was
I'm-
like, dude, just try it. Just try it. Just
Yeah,
try it. It was
very
that
good.
first
I don't
time.
even like Dunkin' coffee unless it's got like sugar and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dunkin's coffee black is terrible.
I'm sure it's horrific, dude.
I don't even want to know, bro. Every time I usually go, it's with this guy, and he always gets like the double shot of
espresso.
the espresso, and
Yeah,
you get
that
like
stuff
the
can
you
be
get but
bitter
you don't you change it
sometimes.
from like the regular sugar to like the liquid sugar or something, or maybe
Yeah.
yeah. And every time, and that's what we have to do to actually give it like a sweet taste.
and I
'cause
drink-
I just can't
Yeah,
stand
it
it.
just depends on where I'm going and whatnot. Like,
You heard of Telltale Coffee?
No.
So,
No, I don't think so.
definitely recommend because they're local, and I try to go there instead of going to like Starbucks or anything like that. So basically, go down 140, go past the Sheets, and it's literally like this little, not RV, but this little like trailer type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
I
literally
didn't even know they were there.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't even.
literally-
I've
That's
never heard of it.
all
Yeah.
the time.
right near the police barracks and stuff.
Okay. Yeah,
And you'll when you're driving past, you'll kind of see it. But yeah, you literally just drive up and get coffee. It's delicious and
I'll have
whatnot.
to try it. Yeah, for sure.
Telltale.
So you were talking about you being the salesman and whatnot. I wanted to ask like what the success rate as far as like going up to businesses and asking them
Yeah,
to sell
yeah,
your
yeah.
products, and also sometimes does it feel like a door-to-door salesman kind of gig?
So from my experience, I found is, well, just personally for me, I'm really good with just connecting with people and talking. So for me, from a personal standpoint, I never really have an issue of going in and just talking with someone about it. Even the phone calls. I mean, you've heard the ones that even they're not happy about it or they want nothing to
Yeah.
do with it. Like,
By the time he's done talking with them on the phone, all I'm hearing is, "All right, brother, I'll catch you next time." Like, it's like you would have thought they're best friends.
and
Yeah.
then leading into that kind of leads into my whole thing that I've kind of established for our sales and stuff is I'm a big proponent on being personal with the business person. That's something that we've all gone across,
Yep.
wanting to create, a good friendship with the business that we're in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the point
That's
that
long-
we
Maintain
That's-
it.
that's what it is. And every
Maintain it, yeah.
every business approach, yes, even though we're trying to make money, we're trying to be I have fun with it. I go talk to the business owners like so I'm your average guy on the street, and personally, that's what I've seen to have the best success.
Yeah.
I get the most value out of people when I talk to them like that.
Oh, your success rate going in person to stores has to be over 90%.
Yeah,
I'm still getting down the phone call part, which I'm not terrible, but it's just more of the fact of talking to the person over the phone that I'm not as huge as about as I am going in person.
Yeah. And I think nowadays so many people get spam calls and whatnot.
That's one thing we've realized. We've had plenty of people where we'll go call them a second, third time, and they've been like, "I'm just so busy. I've forgotten to get back to you guys. I've been
Right.
so busy. Like I haven't even been able to look at the information you've emailed over to me." And that's like 90% of it half the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it isn't.
I get it
I'm-
though.
yeah,
Like,
totally.
We're just starting this. My phone rings all day long. I turned it off the other night. It's like I have things to do.
There was one.
That's
there was,
important.
There was one place where I wasn't even one in contact. I think it was you, Shane, and you had mentioned you went back to call her and you're like, hey, like I sent over the email, and she was like, I'm sorry, I get like 20 emails a day of like people offering me product. She's like, so I like just didn't connect it with the fact that you guys actually personally contacted me and talked with me. I thought it was just another kind of like scam thing, and that happens a lot, dude. You know, a big part that we're finding is you got to be consistent with talking to business owners. You know, we have kind of like an establishment right now where we do, all right, we've contacted them this day. We'll give it like a 2-week period. All right, here's our second contact date. Hey, how's it going? We contacted you. This is so-and-so. And it'll either be like, yeah, I just haven't gotten the time around to do it. Or they're, yep, let's get it sorted right now. Let's get like a order down or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we do a lot of research into all this stuff, but everything we built completely from the ground up, even the templates for everything.
Yep. Like
how to do every little process for any which way. We have
processes.
So many documents
process
now.
is the biggest thing.
Crazy.
That was written down like how to complete these tasks. It's like
just
if you didn't, it would literally the consistency wouldn't be there.
Yep.
How to pack
2
for
months
the
go
markets,
by,
how to
you don't
pack
know
the individual
anything.
bins for the market.
Like and one of the first things, because his father is one of the first people we sat down to when we were talking about this whole thing, and the first thing he said to us, because we were throwing out all these ideas, and it was awesome, and he was loving. He's like, "Great, guys, this is awesome. What about your processes?" And we all sat there and we looked at each other and we were like, "What?" He's like, "What's your process to get there? What's your process of setting up this inventory? What's your process of getting out to other stores to sell?" And so that's for example, one of our things is the process for the sales. We do not contact or we do not go into stores on Mondays because after doing diligent research, Mondays are the worst possible day to have any sort of business deal or any like try to get
Many
someone,
reasons.
for any reasons, because it's the beginning of like the business week essentially. They've got so much on their plate. They don't want to hear about someone coming in offering them something. That's the last thing on their minds. So wait until usually after Tuesday after our business meeting, and then we roll in, to the kind of middle to the back end of the week to start contacting those places. So
Okay, that's good to know. It's definitely important to be able to handle rejection in any kind of business and whatnot.
Yeah,
Doesn't
Yeah.
phase any of us in the slightest anymore.
it did it. Well, no, it did at me at first. I'm gonna be honest, it did. Like I remember I had a struggle. I struggled with Shane because I at first I got through a period where I was like, dude, I'm kind of nervous after being rejected the other day, and like and it was a bad rejection. I was like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. Please don't contact me again. Like it was like I was like, oh shit, like they really do not want this.
Right.
And then he kind of turned my mind around. He's like, dude, you're never gonna talk to these people again, probably. If you do, well, the hope is we do, and they'll contact us again. He's like, just be you and do it. And after that, man, it's the worry of being like
You didn't miss out. He did.
exactly, and
Yeah.
it's like you don't let it kind of like ruin your day, which is what I did at first. Was I'd be like, oh man, like I would let it kind of eat me up. I'd be like, they don't want our product, they want nothing to do with it. And then he was just like, dude, don't even like.
And even
that's
like
been huge, man. Like it
the
doesn't
markets, farmers market stuff.
Big.
Yeah.
You get turned down a lot of the time. People just aren't interested sometimes.
We're not crazy pushy as some people are. We still push to everyone walking by, but usually our approach is a simple conversation around how is your day going, something like that.
Yeah.
The amount of people that will look at us and look away and just keep walking, not even acknowledge we exist.
And you'll like say, "Hey,
crazy.
how are you?" Look at you, look away. I mean, it's just like
And you're just like, okay.
You can just say, "Hey, I'm not interested." That's
Right.
sweet. Like you take care. Like I wish you the best. It's
And at first, it definitely was like I
At
don't even
first,
know what the
yeah,
word
yeah,
is. Like
yeah.
discouraging. Like you're like trying to be nice to these people, and they could give 2 shits. But like you
You
got to
know-
keep it up. You got to be
It's
consistent.
hard to stay nice after
Right.
that.
Well, because either you can get put in a place where it's like I was saying, you get scared to then talk, and then you get scared to even be like,
Start
to even
overthinking.
opening up to it, and then you can't even think like that. Like I was saying at first, I was thinking like that, and I got out of that real quick. And there really is no worry about it, man. If they don't, well, you're gonna come across people that want nothing to do with your product. So be it. Like Shane said, that's their loss.
Yeah.
Get the next one.
Yeah, and you never know. Like they could change their mind eventually. And
Yeah,
you've,
yeah.
I mean,
you've
there's
already
been
got
plenty
that
of
bridge
people like
built.
that.
We've
Like,
had plenty of people come by and then come back right
They
around.
put
and
on a
they're like,
lotion, just rub it on. Say, okay, see you later. They spin back a few minutes later and buy some.
Yeah, like with me and this podcast, like there's plenty of people like big bands,
Mhm.
big comedians, stuff like that. Just people I try to reach out to because you never know.
Right? No, 100%.
And sometimes, most of the time, you don't get a response.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times an artist will have like a booking email in their
Yeah.
bio or a management email, so you just reach out to the management.
Right.
Most of the time, nothing. The other day, message back. Still, the guy said cannot accommodate an interview right now, but hey, get a
Yeah.
response.
Yep,
you
yep,
know.
yep.
People just got to realize like you got to take those shots, or you're never gonna
Yeah.
get anything.
Absolutely.
And one thing, one of the things that we started adding, big time that we realized was just getting something into the customer's hands is huge. Whether
Yeah.
they don't want it, so whether that be a card, a sample, or something, give them something to leave there with,
Yeah,
to
not leaving
remember
anything
you,
in.
or to at least just have that acknowledgement of Alpha Hemp Solutions, and that's
That's why I have the cards right there. Yeah.
yeah. No, we're the same way. We've got, I think, on every table, whenever we've got like 3 things of cards and everything, and
Oh, yeah, we keep them in our pockets, put them
adamant.
there.
Yeah, we're adamant on handing them out constantly. We give samples as much as we can, and a big thing for us is like if we think we're on the verge of making a sale and someone's like they're just not buying it, we'll straight up be like half off this, get this right now, and it's because it's for us, it's money right there in our pocket.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, the in-person selling, we're always scheming up deals
Yep.
for people.
And also, that's like if they like it in return, that's
That's a long
That's a
that's a long life customer,
Yeah.
It's-
Lifetime customer.
I don't think we've ever had a customer not like the lotion and not be astonished at how well it works. It's pretty crazy. Because, like, from an outside perspective, we're a bunch of young guys who make
lotion.
yeah.
You look at
A
that.
little weird.
when you explain it simple.
But there's
enough,
so
yeah.
much
That's what I'm saying. Like a
science
lot of
and-
people refer to us as the lotion guys, and it's like, yeah, we make lotion, but you have no clue what we're working up.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You know
Also,
what I mean?
like, but what do you do?
Exactly.
I make lotion, but you don't do shit.
I mean,
Yes,
for real.
It goes back to that kind of getting doubted on a lot of the time. I find half the time a lot of people that I get doubted about, I'm looking at them, I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly what it is.
Like,
I mean,
we're
they
here
just don't
setting
wanna
up our
see you
whole-
successful. They
We're
wanna
setting
see
up
you
our whole thing
successful.
right now. Like you're not gonna look at me and tell me that. Like it's
Yeah.
just not the case.
Probably the coolest thing with all of this, and I think probably a reason a lot of businesses fail, is ego.
Mhm.
No one on our team has an ego in the slightest.
Yeah, that's a really
It's-
important thing.
I always say the same thing. You can do it better than me. Tell me, because I would rather do it better.
We
Do
humble,
it your way.
we humble each other, bro. Like
Oh, yeah.
I've had times where I came back and Shane and Nathan have been looking at me like, dude, you got to get on these phone calls, bro. Like we got to get this going, and that's what we do. You
Yep.
know, it's whenever Shane's getting the meeting plans straightened up, and he's very open. If there's something anybody on the team doesn't like or wants changed, like speak up, say it.
Right.
There is no like, at least for the most part, I don't feel like there is no just like this is how it is and it's
No,
my
there's
way.
nothing
There's
like that.
none of that.
There's all major decisions made as a group.
It is everything's give or take, the small things that you guys handle on the basis, but
Yeah,
that's
the quick
different.
decision
Yeah,
making
but
and
that's
stuff, yeah.
different. When the grand scheme stuff, luxury brand, all that stuff, like
The vision. It's
Yeah.
it's a collective vision.
What do you guys want to do? How do you want to do it?
Some people don't know how to act on their visions and stuff, and that's
Mhm.
why they
Yeah.
hate, or because I have friends that want to get into music and stuff like that, and they have the resources to be able to actually do it pretty successfully, but I guess they're having trouble kind of doing the action. I just read Atomic Habits. It's a book just about habit building, and I underlined a quote because I liked it. It said like you need to be acting and not just like thinking.
That's
You know?
one of the biggest things for
Yep.
us. Like we spend so much time shooting shit on
Yeah.
like what can we do, but a lot of the time it's just go and actually do it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, change it. And that's one of the biggest things. Like we haven't gotten too big into marketing, like actually pushing our stuff onto other platforms.
Right.
And like that's one of the things we need to start. We're working on plans, but like we actually need to not really just make a million plans. Make one plan, roll with it, tweak it, roll with it, and fix it as it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the biggest thing is acting on your vision for sure.
And following through with
Following through it.
Yeah.
is a huge part, because a lot of people get stuck, won't even act on it, and they act on it and they don't follow through. Why'd you even do it?
Yeah. I like what you said about the ego thing too, because that can get in the way of a lot of stuff.
So many things.
And like also like you can't be worried about other people too. Like if you're trying to start a band or something, you can't be worried about like what other bands are
Right.
doing or like
No,
you know,
that's
worrying about
totally.
if they're successful. I don't know. It's like
Yeah,
people
no,
compare
yeah.
too much, and it's like that's the very wrong
It's a
mindset
huge
to have.
part of social media.
You can't think you're better than anybody, you know,
Yeah.
because that's the thing. Word can get around pretty quick. So-
Especially this day and age, bro. Shit goes around real freaking quick.
Oh
I
yeah.
think like there's so many friends of ours that probably don't even know we do any of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
It's so new, and like, you know, especially life after high school, a lot of your circle gets a lot smaller.
And I still
Definitely.
like two former boss of mine, Matt Kane, Kevin Casker. I call them and ask them stuff, especially really at the beginning, all the time. I have questions. How would you do this? I need help. Blah blah blah. It's sweet because you can never stop. You should never stop learning.
No,
We'll
well,
always be.
Yeah.
and that goes back to the ego thing, isn't it? Is a lot of
Yeah.
people think they reach a point and they're like, oh, we've got it. We've gotten ourselves in a mindset that no matter how successful, no matter how well we're doing, we are going to continue to learn. We're going to continue to grow from there. And that's like Shane just said. That's never going to stop. That never stops.
Yeah.
We are always learning. You're learning to the day you freaking die. You know what I mean? And-
Absolutely.
Remember this one day, one of the first stores we got into was it Solutions for Health?
Yeah.
Is it
Yep.
called? Up in Philly. I probably only slept like an hour the night before. Woke up super early in the morning, drove all the way up there, and drove through Baltimore to stop at some stores, get some stuff, and went somewhere else. And by the time I got home, it was super late, super dark. I pulled in the driveway. And I was just like so mentally fried and drained from the weeks before. I just like sat on the ground against my car because it was like nice breeze outside, whatever. Alex pulls in. He sits down next to me. And he hasn't even asked why we're sitting yet. Nate pulls in the driveway. He sits down. I was out there for 10 minutes. Nate was like, and why are we sitting? And it was like the coolest thing. Like
Hell yeah.
everyone knew why we were sitting. But it was just one of those things where you're there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that stuff's huge. It's and those things like that will never be forgotten.
Well, you know, and,
Support for each other.
you know, and us, we like I don't know if we mentioned earlier. You know, we just went to Cancun as a group. You know, the three of us with our good friend Ben. You know, but
Nice.
that was something the three of us just kind of wanted to do. You know, because we
It was
wanted to
much needed,
It was
dude.
a much needed break from everything. I mean, and not even just the company. You know, school. You know, I just gone out of the army, getting that stuff together. Your school. You know, all your stuff. You know, like. That was a much needed thing, and I think that's the cool thing that we're about.
Yeah.
Is we'll take that step back and be like, all right, it's time to let's do something for the guys. So
Yeah, I learned the last year that getting out and traveling, especially on your own or just kind of like outside of your family, can really,
It's huge,
really build your perspective
it's
on
huge,
life.
bro.
Dude,
when I
100%.
picked up my like I'm just gonna use me as an example. I picked up my life, moved away from everything that I was familiar with, comfortable with, went into a whole world that I had very little information about. Yes, I had people that were in the military that in my family. But I picked up myself, moved all the way to Kentucky, was by myself there for 3 years. You know, it's a whole different concept. You know, and you learn so much, man. Like there was so much stuff that other people's viewpoints in life. You know, I was working in platoons with guys that had the complete opposite life that I had. You know,
Right.
and you learn perspectives on both sides because there were things even that those guys learned from me and got from me from my life and what I've experienced, and that's beautiful. And more people need to do that.
It really is.
They need to be, because there's so many people out there that have so much to offer and so much to
Definitely.
teach, and it's awesome, man. I recommend it. Get out there. You know,
Definitely.
And
go see it.
people nowadays, we've all talked about this, especially like farmers markets. We always forget like how similar we are to everyone else. Always, like some people pass the table, and like you just wouldn't think that you could relate to that person as much as you can, and they stop and talk with you, and you end up talking to this person for about 45 minutes, and like we even had one guy who wasn't interested at all, but he said he'd tell his wife to come over, and he ended up being in the same like platoon.
He was
right?
he was in the same unit that I was in, so he was in the 101st. We were in different brigades and all that, but he had no idea at first. You know, guy
Yeah.
comes up, we're just talking, you know, and I'm pretty sure even I was the one talking to him
I
when
think so.
he was over, and then he's like, "Yeah, let me go talk to my wife." Comes back, and then I brought up the fact, you know, I was infantry and I've got shot knees, not like shot knees, but you know, my knees
Chopped.
are chopped up and stuff, and I was very adamant. I used our muscle repair lotion and our CBD lotion for that. And then he eventually brought on, "Hey man, I was at Campbell too. You know, like what was your unit?" And you know, we got talking, and you connect on that, man. And that's
Absolutely.
and not only does that create something for us, but that creates something for the customer as well. You know, I'm sure he went home after that and was like, man, I got to see someone, you know, that was from an area that I
So
was
cool.
at
We talked about it.
forever. It was
Even
a
on the ride
long-
home.
Yeah, and
Like,
it
I
was.
mean-
We were going all the way. He was like, you know, did you do aerosol? You know, and I was like, I did.
so
You know, and he was talking about his
Oh,
time
yeah.
in the Rangers bat, which is, I mean, those guys are badasses. You don't fuck with Rangers. You know, you connect with that, man. You know, and it's a really cool thing to see. And it's like not even with me with the military. You get it with everything, man. To the smallest stuff, like, hey, this is something I'm dealing with today. You have no idea. Guess what just happened to me the other day that's going to relate to that. And then you have that banter going back and forth, and it's awesome.
Hell yeah. My note. I have a note about the CBD stuff for pets. Because I wanted to talk about like the pet food-ish industry. Because I feel like there's a lot of issues with dog food and stuff like that, just being super processed and
What is
whatnot.
it? Kibble? Do you
Kibble's
guys know
trash.
Do you guys know the history of kibble?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's
Go into that.
So I'm not gonna act like I'm like the expert on it, but essentially kibble started in a way where they took all the after like parts to everything, whether that be meat, plants, or anything. And the guy created something. He wanted to create like it started off as like a cracker. Imagine that. Like kibble wasn't kibble at first. It started off like as a short cracker that was distributed to the army for rations, and they had to find a way to create simple, easy dog food, and that's where kibble came from, off that. So
yeah, I still find it crazy, like how
and it's really
how
bad.
trash the quality
It's
is
really
that
bad
we
for
give to
them,
our
yeah.
military.
Oh yeah, well that shit. I could go into a whole story about that, bro. I was living in a barracks building, which I don't know if you guys know what asbestos is.
Yeah.
Asbestos. And I was living in that for 4 years, and I had caution tape around my barracks building. Couldn't change my room. Couldn't do anything. And so I was actually just talking to my brother-in-law who gets out of the army tomorrow, and he's home tomorrow. I was terrible. I didn't really claim shit in the VA like I should have done. And he ends up telling me, hey, dude, if you were living in asbestos, like you can get like a good chunk for the rest of your life for that, man. So, but I don't even know where we were going with that, but like.
Oh, the pet stuff.
Yeah. What was
Yeah,
how did that-
I
don't
kind
know.
of just wanted to talk about, like, you know, how these kind of things are tested on animals and stuff like that.
So
And-
here's one thing that I love to talk about are pet tinctures. We do 1,000 milligrams full spectrum. Not many pet tinctures do that.
Okay,
So you only need a few drops from us. Some of the other ones, you need a full squirt.
gotcha.
If you're giving a full squirt to a small animal,
Of oil.
that is a lot of oil.
Yeah.
Everything's bad when it's excessive. It can be. Like, it should be moderation for.
Everything, water, air, everything's
Right.
bad with too much, you know.
And that's just, it's crazy to me that people give their pets that much oil. It does a lot of oil.
We were also just talking about, like, how trash the quality is of, you know, food and stuff like that. So,
Oh, yeah.
like, when it comes to the treats and stuff like that, you know, how are you setting yourself apart on the natural side of things?
Well, actually, that is one of the only products that we buy from another company. We do private label, but they're all natural,
Right.
same way. So like this is actually kind of funny. We met this guy at the Philly event, that CannaFest event in Philly, and he's kind of got the same kind of deal as us. He's trying to doing it small, doing it the right way, you know. And we noticed he had these pet treats, and they got literally all kinds of stuff. I mean, from like collagen to like. Man, I couldn't list all the ingredients, but it's got like bone support, joint support, all that stuff that people look for in their dogs, and then on top of it, like a hemp extract. So you get an anti-inflammatory, stress relief, anxiety relief, and it's all in a natural, healthy little treat that these animals love. So like, we figured to go all in on the whole the private label from that guy, because we can't do adamant testing on like actual gummies, if you or edibles, if that makes sense.
And one of the main deciding factors with going with him was it's a family operated and owned business.
Gotcha.
They share the same values. I could pick up the phone, call him, and I get to talk to him.
Right.
And
It's
that's
none
big.
of this online corporate-y type stuff. They're true to who they are, and it's pretty rare in a lot of
No,
industries today.
Well, it goes back to being able to connect someone with like that. Like that's just alone, like that creates a relationship right there. Hey, they value something that we value.
Right.
We want to work together, and that's same thing with Kelly. You know, that creates, you know, business relationships. So it's
Yeah.
huge.
And we all give all of our dogs all the pet stuff.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Oh, they're crazy.
They're crazy about it, man. That chicken rotisserie one. My yellow lab, he loves that. He eats
Oh
that
yeah,
shit.
when we brought that home, because I have a yellow lab too. Labs eat; they can smell it. Like
Oh yeah.
open the fridge at home, she comes running. As soon as we brought the bin in, comes running over, head inside the bin, licking the side, still wash them out.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about Delta 9 because I've read some kind of negative things, I guess, about people saying like it's ineffective for them,
Delta
stuff
9?
like that.
Or Delta 8.
Could be either one.
Well,
maybe-
so it's definitely
Delta.
well, it's different for everyone. So the way it is for me is like you have Delta 9 THC, which is what when someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna go smoke some pot," that's what they're
what we
referring
mean.
to.
That's-
Delta
yeah,
9.
I think they're referring to Delta 8.
Yeah.
So Delta 8.
But that's why I like it, because I like to use a milder version of it. Because I
Right.
used to, it's not really as bad anymore, but I used to get pretty anxious when I would smoke, and that is almost non-existent with Delta 8. So like
Right.
I'll be high in the gym and be like feeling it. You know
Did you
what I'm
ever
saying?
try like CBD in addition to the flower to try to?
I
Like,
have done
I've
that,
done-
and that does help.
I have done like I
Perfect.
have done like you smoke, and then I had a CBD pen.
hmm
And
Okay.
that does add like it.
Yeah, that is nice.
It does. Yeah.
CBD pens are sweet.
The CBD pens are pretty awesome.
Especially if
Probably
it's
good
full
for-
spectrum,
I
and you get a
was-
little bit of the THC in there.
When I was in the army, I'm just gonna. I know I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but I don't really care because I'm not in it anymore. But when I was the last like year and a half in my army, that's what I was using was Delta 8.
okay.
Because I was able to get it through the gate. It wasn't like I was bringing in bud or stuff.
Yeah.
And I could sit in my barracks room, sit there and puff on a pen and not have to worry about room inspections and getting caught or anything.
But
like
another
that.
thing that we in Aspects were talking about this just before we came here. Some people will tweak out way harder off of Delta 8 than they would have off Delta 9, even
Oh,
though it's
yeah.
milder. Like you'll have a way more adverse reaction and
I'm
like
gonna be honest.
freak
That's
out
I'm
and
gonna be
green
honest,
out.
The first time that I ever tried Delta 8,
Mhm.
it was me and a buddy in another platoon. His name's Sharp, and we were just screwing around. We went to go just get nicotine vapes, and then the guy ends up talking to us about Delta 8. And at first, I was told that Delta 8 doesn't show up on drug tests, and that's why a lot of people were using.
That is a big
it.
rumor, and that is completely
It's
false.
completely false. Don't
Gotcha.
trust that. Anyone that don't. That's not true at all.
I know someone who just
I
failed his
was
drug
very
test because of that.
I was very lucky, and I never got caught or anything like that.
Right.
But that was Delta 8 for a while. I remember the first time I used it, dude. That shit had me like on a day. Like it was a completely different high from
it is. It really
what I was
is.
used to from the Delta 9. And it's a whole different thing.
Okay.
So,
So I saw you have bath fizz and bath bombs, right?
Yeah, we do.
The,
Um,
this may be the sad part.
I don't know if we're gonna keep carrying.
I mean, if there's
Okay.
one product that hasn't been doing super well for us, it's the bath stuff. And I really
Gotcha.
couldn't tell you why. It's probably because our efforts have been elsewhere, honestly.
That's a
we
big
don't, we
part
don't
of it.
push
It's
really,
packaging.
when people are coming to us and they're talking and they're interested in our product. The last thing we're
Yeah.
trying to get them to buy is the bath bombs and the bath fizz.
Because that's
Right.
that's the cheapest thing we sell.
And-
Also, is that just purely for like relaxation?
Yeah.
It's like a preference thing.
And it is actually really nice because, like, if you were to, let's say you like you were feeling really achy, right?
Right.
Instead of having to put that lotion on every inch of your body, just throw a bath bomb in the tub and lay in
Okay.
it. You know what I mean? You're getting that on every inch of your body.
So it's faster that way.
And it's
I wouldn't even say faster. It's probably about the same, but
Just
it's
covering the
Less
literally
calories.
everywhere. Like,
Okay.
every inch of your body is getting the benefits of hemp and CBD
one
as
of the
opposed
things
wherever you're putting it
when
there.
we started bath fizz, bath bombs. We thought at the beginning, probably the majority of people buying our bath fizz and bath bombs would be women.
Yeah.
Not the case.
Nope.
At
Oh.
all.
Nope. A
Okay.
lot of
Majority men,
men have been
18
buying
to
the bath
25.
fizz, Yep.
really cool.
Yeah. I wouldn't have expected
That's
that
what
either.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you learn so much
It
from
was
doing
super
this.
cool.
The bath fizzes do sell here and there. It's really more of the bath bombs for us that we really don't get anything out of. The bath fizzes are still like lower compared to everything else, but we still have what people come by, and they'll compare it like, oh, is it like an Epsom salt bath? I don't know if you know what.
Yeah,
Epsom
that's
salt-
what
yeah.
immediately what I
You know,
correlated it
that's-
with.
That's
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
thing a lot of people do to help with their bodies is my
Yeah.
mom does it.
Yeah.
She bathes in Epsom
So
salt.
there is Epsom salt in there.
Yeah, but
Himalayan
yeah,
salt.
Okay.
And but that's what I was gonna say was it is a lot like that. Our RC bath fizz, so it's essentially the same as an Epsom
And then
salt.
I guess it just like gets into your pores and whatnot when you
Like you were saying, and you're covering the whole body in one. You're getting in a bath, and your whole body is feeling that effect.
Yeah, and if you're in a warm bath, your pores are opened up too, which is
yeah,
another good
exactly. Instead of just like you were saying, okay, I have some pain here, let me rub the lotion on. You're getting in that bath, and it's your whole body.
It's usually like a single-use product, usually, right?
Well, the fizz, we put enough in there for I mean, if you could more than certainly use all of it, and it would be more potent. But like, you could probably sprinkle it over 4 or 5.
Okay.
So that's the big thing. Like when people are asking about the bath fizz and the bath bomb, and we'll kind of like shit on the bath bombs in a way because we'll be like, well, you can either do a bath bomb and it's like a one-time use, or you get our bath fizz,
And then they buy the bath fizz.
or you get the bath fizz and you get like multiple uses out of it, and that leads to them buying the bath fizz.
And not to mention the bath bombs are such a pain to package, and they're messy. You know what I mean? Drop
Yeah.
it, boom, done.
Gotcha. I was just about to say they probably break super
Yeah.
easily.
Oh yeah. You got to be careful about transporting them. You got to like use bubble wrap and all that.
I gotcha. So how do you plan to expand outside your current realm of products? I know you said you're going to focus on the like recovery and workout stuff side, but is there anything else that you plan to like do new in the future?
100%.
we got
I
a
mean,
lot.
it kind of just it's really like as it comes. So like the last 7 or 8 months, it's been almost entirely focused on Alpha Hemp Solutions, and we're starting to get to the point where we have enough manpower to put efforts elsewhere, and that's where like we literally have just started building the website in the last few weeks and getting the designs down for just what the brand image is going to look like, and I can't see any reason why it wouldn't be kind of a repeating cycle where we find a new market that needs something, new brand to hit it, because we found that you really need to specify for the target audience. Like,
Right.
if we're going to be doing an AP Labs, or sorry, not a gym brand, right? We want it to have the gym look, and
Right.
you're not going to get that from these like white and green, happy, like uplifting labels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got
we
the
gotta give it.
dumbbell on there.
We got to give it the
yeah.
lightning and the darker theme, and that's just got to be the whole brand has to look like that too. You know what I
That
mean?
audience, yep.
And when a lot of people start businesses, they do all that stuff at the beginning. We didn't, and I think we couldn't have done it any more better than we did because it allowed us
Oh,
to
for real.
really discover where everything falls into place.
Yeah.
If we started trying to place these things at the beginning, like a lot of people do, and all the colleges say so, it would have been shut down. Like,
Yeah.
it was just too much money would have been spent on all that stuff. It was just building it piece by piece by piece until the foundation's been laid. And
Yep, I was just
Now
about
it's
to
time
say.
to
I was
scale.
just about to use that. We got the foundation laid, and from there on.
I
It's,
wouldn't even go that far yet.
No,
We're
we-
nearing.
We've got the concrete pouring in. You know,
It's pouring in
it's
right now.
pouring in right now. So,
Yeah.
but that is you did kind of hit it on the nail with that, like 100%. So.
we all put a ridiculous amount of time into it. Like, it's not an easy thing.
But not even just going back to what you were saying about new products and all that. A lot of the time, our new products that we've even gone to have come to be because customers have came to us about that. So
It's
there's
almost-
I think every single one of them.
So yes, there are products right now that we've talked about, that we're all thinking of that no one has come to us, but there's probably so many products that we don't even know we're gonna end up making that we are gonna make because people have been, the pet products. We weren't doing anything with the pet products until people were coming asking about the pet products, and then you guys
We're
met.
all lotion.
Yeah, we're met so and so. Like same
Gotcha.
thing I told you with the CBN and the sleep stuff. We had nothing to do with that until people came to us. Hey, sleep problems. You got anything to do that?
Makes sense.
It'll go from there, and excited to see the stuff that we do have planned to make and the stuff that we have no idea that we even have planned to make. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was pretty much all I had for the company. So, what passions do y'all have outside of Alpha Hemp Solutions?
I can start.
Yeah,
I
you
really, really like to lift. I mean, that's been the biggest thing for me pretty much since COVID hit. It's kind of
Okay.
been like, I honestly think it kept me sane during COVID just because, like, just the way everything stopped all at once. It
Yeah.
really took a toll on me. I mean, the gym kind of helped keep me sane almost. And other than that, I used to be football.
Okay.
And then COVID ruined that essentially because I was going to play in college. But,
oh shit.
man, the COVID restrictions at my college were rough. And it was like living out of prison. So
Yeah.
I moved
Yeah.
home.
Damn.
And the biggest thing for me now is winter sports. I like snowboarding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, man. Tough question.
He likes plants.
It's really all I do, to be honest. It's
okay.
I wake up, I do this, and then towards the end of the night, I play little video games.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
Probably
say
my
Shane,
passion,
Shane,
video
he
games.
does. Shane's kind of like that for him. That's kind of like what it is.
I
Is
don't
like,
really drink anymore. I go out,
None of us really do.
No,
None
we
of
don't.
us.
It's pretty overrated. I think like
Oh my
to drinking just for drinking and getting drunk. I think is a little
I
like.
can't stand it.
You know, like right now I'm in like a little phase of like getting into different bourbons and shit like that.
Yes,
Cause
Yes,
I
I'm
go
all
to,
for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I smoke cigars. I go to the cigar
Oh,
lounge.
yeah.
Being around them, you get into whiskeys and stuff like that.
I,
so
that's like my go-to.
That's complete. But see that is something that like I would love to do. If someone was like, hey man, we're gonna go. Even if someone was like, hey, we're gonna go to this winery and we're gonna go, do some wine tasting. That sounds fun and you're actually doing something with it. Like this whole thing of just, hey, let's go to the bar again and let's go drop another $400 and let's see who can get the most drunk and be the most
Right.
stupid. Like, where's the fun in that, bro? Like, I
Yeah.
get
And
no.
on top of that, like all of our mindsets since we started this has changed everything, how we look at everything.
Big time.
So
guaranteed.
it's not just we're going out, it's we're wasting time, we could have been more productive.
Yep.
It's now we're spending money on top of that.
That's
And we're wasting time the next day because you know damn well we're not working in the morning.
Oh man, I take
Me and
the whole next day after I drink, and maybe sometimes the day after that. I
So
can't
it's like
move.
You lose
Yeah.
so many things, and at this point, it's like
The risk. What's the reward?
we'd rather just do absolutely nothing and hope this pays off. So there's a time later in life where we can take those 3
Yeah.
days to recover.
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
don't get it mixed up. We still have fun.
Oh,
We
yeah.
still, we still.
have
we
to.
do.
Even it could be as simple as just us all going from working together on the business that day to then just us sitting there and talking and hanging out for
Yeah.
a bit.
That's
or
all
like,
it takes, man.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
It's your turn.
Yeah. What was the question?
Just like other passions,
Yeah,
anything you like to do outside of working.
Well,
I guess movies.
I'm
You and
gonna
me.
be honest. I got a lot. But
that's fine,
I
man.
was big in to like lifting and all that stuff. I did that for like 3 years in the army. Not as much lifting. It was more like body stuff. So
Okay.
at the time, I haven't really had too strong of a desire to be waking up every morning and going to the gym.
It's
like
hard, yeah.
I hear you.
I did that for a straight 3 years on a really
I get it.
intense level. So right now, like my brother, he's crazy into the gym, like him, and
Big Jake,
he's
man.
he's younger than me, and the dude he's a hoss, and he'll be like, hey man, go to the gym, you want to do that, and I'll be like, dude, I'm just my head's not there yet to
Yeah.
get back into the gym and all that stuff, but I will get there. As far as passions, man, the company, like Shane them said, school's not really a big passion for mine. I'm just kind of doing it because I'm getting paid to
Absolutely
go to
not.
school.
Yeah.
If I wasn't having my GI Bill and the Army wasn't paying me, I would not be taking classes right now.
I gotcha.
That's just the honest opinion. I love video games. I've been a gamer since day one.
Hell yeah.
I'm always getting the new games. I'm always up to date on the new games. And then movies, like Shane said, bro. I'm always hitting these guys up. Hey, John Wick just came out. Let's go see
We
John Wick."
went the Marvel movies. I mean, it's a little different nowadays, but like,
He was worse than Alex.
yeah, it was Infinity War, Endgame, all that. When me and Alex would go, me and Alex, usually our friend Parker, we'd be there like hour and a half ahead of time in line up in the Hanover Theater.
Dude,
No one else shows up till like 5 minutes before. We're sitting there like, oh, dude,
Yeah, man.
keep waiting here.
I'm a nerd at heart, and that throws a lot of people off because I don't come across as that. But man, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Marvel, you throw any of that stuff at me, man, I will talk for
Yeah, I'm a
hours.
Harry Potter
Harry
fucking
Potter,
geek.
dude. I've read the book series 3 times.
Damn.
You're gonna get on my ass. I haven't played the game yet.
Neither have I.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I'm still on X, but I barely like my whole thing is with video games. Like I find like a video game and I play that video game.
I feel that 100%.
That's been me right now. Like I was saying earlier, I cannot put down this Resident Evil 4, bro. Like it is
Dang,
the
man.
epitome of everything that I am like asking for in a game right now. And
Yeah.
I recommend it to anybody watching or anything. Go try it out. It's phenomenal. So,
Oh yeah, that was all I had. Unless you guys wanted to talk about anything else.
I mean, I can't really
I've-
think of anything off of the
I really do genuinely like, and I'm not just saying this to say this. I think
Let me
we
see. I
hit,
just
like,
want to make sure I have everything written down.
hit a lot of like hit every point that I could think of.
Yeah,
or
we
that
covered a
wanted
lot of
to
stuff.
talk about.
I tried to.
Do you know
Oh,
how
you
long?
did
How long are we on here
We're
for?
at about 2 hours, an hour 57.
Dang.
So
Yeah, that's a good bit of talking.
And it
Yeah.
honestly doesn't even feel like it. Like
Mm-mm.
it's just
No, this
sitting
was
here
awesome.
talking. It doesn't even feel like it's been.
Dude, not even close.
Time's gone
yeah,
by.
and like listening back to, if you're anything like me, you'll enjoy listening back to.
Oh, I'm gonna love it.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna absolutely love
I
this. going
thought I
back.
was gonna hate it at first. Listening to your own voice, you get used to it. I
Mhm.
thought listening back was gonna be like this process I didn't look forward to, but once I get in the mood for it,
It's
I
fun.
know what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
I do-
I really don't like listening to my own voice either.
I do-
Yeah. I'm just
really
excited to see how it all turns
concerned.
and comes together. That's my thing, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
I like
excited to see
I
it.
like listening to it after, like when because I do timestamps and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So like when I'm doing that, I enjoy it. But like I was in Colorado and I was showing my cousin my stuff, or I just told him about it, and he pulled it up and started watching it. And watching your stuff in front of someone else, that's where it feels weird. 'cause
Uh-huh.
you're
I know
what you mean.
Ah, shit. But yeah, that was it. I want to thank y'all for coming on for sure.
Yeah,
Thank you
very
for
much.
having us, man.
I meant to do this at the beginning. Go ahead and promote like the social medias and stuff. Where can they find you? I should have said this at the beginning.
that's all right.
Like for the people listening, like
Yeah.
your names and stuff.
Oh, for sure. So I'm Nathan Mattingly. I'm the co-CEO of Hemp Solutions.
I'm Shane O'Connor. I'm also co-CEO with Nathan.
Name's Alex Hughes, and I am our sales executive. So
All right, and it's just Alpha Hemp Solutions on social media.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll pull up Instagram. There's a link tree in there, which will take you to the website. It also has other links to other social medias that we're on. So
Yeah.
And if you're in Westminster, you said you're at Hans and a couple other
yeah.
places.
So we've got we're in Hans, Bowman's Pet and Feed. We are in Kelly and Co on Main Street. We are in Gypsy Sisters down in Old Sykesville.
Sunny Days.
Sunny Days in both stores, the one
Yep.
here and the one in Eldersburg. And
Holy Holistic.
Holy Holistics.
that's up in Hanover.
That's up in Hanover. Yeah.
All right, yeah, everybody go check them out, and thanks for listening.